I'll back off, and Dragon, I think, is the next objective they're after here. And she's actually doing a great job of zoning them out the back as well. So bomb does come out there. The Dragon will get secured there by Elise, actually. And there's a Tato moving, and Denny actually going to be a little bit careful, gets the culling cancelled. But Java's already dead as Cheese picks up yet another kill. That's a great bit of defense there by Serb. And now Jack is raging forward down this Trundle, trying to pick up whoever he can. She's going to look for another stun as well. Good kite back here, actually, from NV. First mate's should be able to get himself out of the Valkyrie, and does. I mean, one kill there, and the Dragon not definitely happy there for YSC, but NV probably got out of that fairly safely.
Yeah, Jarvan actually jumped in, tried to go for a steal. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. So he was pretty much trapped in there and just died. It's unfortunate, but if he did get the steal, it would have got NV a bit back more into the game, I guess. But yeah, he just couldn't do it. Yeah,
I mean, any gold is good gold at this point for NV. They really just want to pick up whatever they can and try not to fall too far behind. Because as you mentioned, the gold lead is going to matter less and less as we move through. I mean, YSC, I mentioned they were playing very calm in the first 10, 15 minutes of this game. It's kind of felt like, you know, yeah, we're ahead in lanes, but we don't want to overdo it. Actually pushed down the outer towers quite late in this game. I think 20 minutes we saw the first tower being pushed down. We're just more than happy to keep winning their lanes. And pressure, but have definitely slowed down here.
YSC have recognized that they can't like push in 5v5, especially against that comp with Mundo, Ziggs, Nami, and Corki. They won't be able to get in, so they're pretty much waiting for objectives here and just farming. I feel that could be a bit of a mistake. They should be baiting out Barons here. They should draw out the team and try to get a hard engage on, but they're pretty much just getting items now.
I mean, it's easy for us to, because we can see the actual gold league, which the players can't. And YSC are so far ahead that they can absolutely start aggressively forcing, you know, Baron baits and just going for Baron, at least trying to bait Envy and, you know, force them to do something. But that Dragon fight, I think they tried something that hopefully the Envy would take the bait. Envy, to their credit, didn't actually take the bait and kited back very nicely, only losing Serb, who was looking for a steal, which at this point is really not a massive loss given that you're already massively behind in terms of gold lead. But yeah, definitely think there could be a bit more aggression here for YSC. But they're going to play it safe here. And they're a team that definitely closes the games out not very assuredly, I suppose. Not quickly, most certainly. They're a very methodical team.
Yes.
Deliberate. As NBA just trying to defend where they can. I mean, they grouped up for a long time here in this mid lane all together. There's not a whole lot of fun being shared. And I think Denny been popping back down to the bottom lane here and then as well to pick up some empty lane farms. So YSC are getting a little bit further ahead each time, of course, is continuing to exert their pressure over this map and try and pick up map control. I feel like now Danny picked up an extra item there with the Blade of the Ruin King, which is kind of a weird build, actually.
Yes. That build is for Mundo with the Blade of the Ruin King.
Yep.
Yes. I feel like YSC lack a lot of direction, especially in the late game. They've been flailing around mid and bot for like around 5 minutes now, and they could have pressured Baron, got vision, and just made a pick like this.
Yeah, it almost feels like they were waiting for maybe Denny to get a power spike. They maybe are too afraid of the frontline Mundo, but absolutely, they've got plenty of pressure they can exert now. And here we are. We are going to see the Baron bait move in here as Jack is going to look for a pick that actually finds Invincible there with the trophy. But again, a great disengage from Ziggs.
He almost got Heavens as well, but Heavens jumped over with his heavies.
There's the Culling coming out again. Xiao actually doing a good job blocking a lot of that. Does use the Locket of the Iron Solari active as well. So going to block out a good chunk of that culling damage here. And I mean, they got to pick something, and I feel like they almost feel, oh goodness, well that was a pick there. Actually, Cheese going a little deep there. Mundo's going to be traded for Syndra as Jarvan gets that kill into Cheese.
I missed that kill, but it looked like Syndra 1v1 the Mundo.
Yes, that did happen. I'm very curious as to where it happened though. I think it was deep in the jungle.
Yeah. Well, Syndra does
oh yeah, there we go. Syndra's just dead. Just the top right-hand corner of your screen, you can almost see her. Died all the way back near the outer mid turret. So that was a little bit deep.
Syndra did burn Flash and Ignite for it, so it was worth it. Like, you know, a spree on Syndra, a killing spree on Syndra for, you know, just the Mundo. It's not too bad. It's getting Envy back in the game. YSC really need to do something right now. If they keep playing safe like this, they're going to eventually, you know, get outscaled by poke comp of Envy.
Yeah, I agree, and I think absolutely that's a great trade for Envy, trading a Syndra for the Mundo. I mean, trading it in general when you're behind is good, just because you're getting gold on members, even if you're giving them gold back. You've already got a massive gold lead, just give them more, whatever. 200 gold's not going to matter when, you know, they're potentially worth 400 or 500 gold that someone in your team desperately needs. So, yeah, maybe a misstep there by Cheese, getting a little too aggressive, but I feel like YSC definitely don't have nearly as much confidence when they don't have super hard engage, because they're really reliant on pretty much just the Syndra stun.
Yeah.
Or at least Cocoon. Those are the two things. They don't have, you know, the flash Maokai W that they did in the last game. So potentially playing a little bit too safe, but they definitely have to get a move on here. I mean, this Baron is been sticking around for quite a while here, and they are going to start it off, it seems like. Looks like Nami will check. And Envy are collapsing here, actually, onto this Baron. They do potentially look at steal attempt. Good Baron damage actually coming through as well. There's the bomb moving out. Decent AoE damage there. Tidal Wave's going to come in as well. They're going to find the steal. No, don't quite get it. Xiaomei looks for it, but at least we'll clean it up here. Liquid G's going to get the first good onto Invincible. Xiaomei now going to go down as well. Serve blocks him up with Cocoon. And now Jack going to chase out Josh. Good damage moving in as well. And there's a double kill for Cheese. It's flying due a little bit low there, takes damage from Heavens, but isn't too worried here. Jack continuing to pressure here on this Trundle, does actually block him up quite nicely. Heavens, needs to look for a satchel charge, can't quite find it, going to get slowed down here as well. Does find the charge out of the way, throws the bomb back as well, but YSC pick up 3 kills and the Baron, and they're going to be charging through the mid lane now.
Yeah, well done by YSC. Good smite as well by Serb there. They had Nami Wave with Jarvan coming in as well. And, at least just a bit. That's good.
Mid inhibitor going to go down now. So YSC, you know, they waited for something that was Baron that they wanted. They got it and were able to win a very, very clean team fight there. And as you mentioned, Mickey, maybe they could have done that 10 minutes ago, but they did it safely, or at least the safest they could make it there. I mean, opting into a 50-50, trusting into a jungler to get ensure the smite there with Elise, and then a very easy cleanup from that point as well. Looks like Dragon maybe the center of attention here now for YSC. They're going to move down there, and they will pick it up. I mean, Envy can try to fight here as Tidal Wave's going to come in. Actually, they are going to, but I don't quite like that decision, at least. Going to pick up that Dragon. Jack's going to get charged in there with the Time Warp, but Xiao's actually going to go back in there as well with the Cataclysm. Denny in, though, easy his way out there with that great dash that Lucian has, and now Cheese coming out around the side as well. First Mate going to get massively chunked down there as flying Ju. Ju uses his ult there as Nami going to go down. First Mate goes down as well there to Ju as that time bomb does tick down. Now Heaven's going to get wrapped up by Cocoon. He's likely going to go down here as well. Good Satchel actually going to keep him alive for now. And Serb completely caught out at this point, but Denny around the side, they're going to pick up that kill. And Jack, he's chasing Heavens. Doesn't really need the kill, but he's going to blade him up here in Heavens. He's, nowhere to go. Dies to 1 Q there as well. And the rest of YSC already charging towards the Nexus.
That was a last-ditch effort by NB there. And, it was all or nothing. And unfortunately, it didn't work. So GG to YSC. Yeah,
and, again, had a massive lead there towards the 20-25 minute point in that game. Potentially, could have done it earlier, but did the same thing here, waited for the Baron, took it out, and then a very clean 2 team fights was able to get them that last game. And 2-0 there in very convincing fashion here for YSC. Yeah. Arguably going in, I wouldn't say the favorites, but that's a really strong start to your tournament here.
Yes, very strong. Very well done. Every player on YSC played perfectly. There weren't many mistakes. A few catches here and there by NV, but other than that, quite flawless play by YSC there.
So I have some quick updates here before I guess we'll close out this series a little bit more. Heavens, I think, maybe didn't play as well as we've seen him play certainly in the past. Who really impressed you? I mean, we said everyone from YSC played well, and I certainly agree with you, but which player are we looking at in the following games? Because, they've got a semi-finals and a finals to play if they want to take this challenger spot here.
Well, I called it before it started. I said Liquid Cheese would play, even if not better in every lane, and he did, and he performed very well, and, I think he really carried his team. Well, not that they needed it, but...
No, I mean, everyone's playing well, but Cheese just playing even better, and that's good. I mean, if your team's playing well and you're playing even better than them, it's probably a pretty good recipe there. Do have a few quick things before we move into our break here and potentially into our semi-finals here. Team Storm winning their game 2-0, so they are through there as well. Attack on Chimera Ants are through as well. And Immunity lost, I believe. I'm not sure. I think we had some shenanigans going on there with that. We'll have to get an update before the game here as well. But we are going to take a break now. We should be moving through to the semi-finals of the Challenger Qualifier right after these short messages.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Time for 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never.
And welcome back, everyone. We're in the semi-finals now. And just to quickly update you guys, Immunity unfortunately had to forfeit their games due to disconnect issues. I believe Uber Giant unfortunately had some issues there with connection, and they couldn't find any subs to play. Had to forfeit their series, unfortunately, to I actually can't read that name, so it's fine. But I did have to forfeit their series, unfortunately, to the quarters, and will not be advancing in the tournament. Always unfortunate to see such a big name go out early.
The Gentle Giant.
Yeah.
He never had good internet. Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough with online tournaments sometimes as well, but they are played online, of course, other qualifiers here on the live server. So, unfortunate for Immunity, guys. We definitely feel for you, but we'll see if they can make it through. They've got a couple more qualifiers to play potentially as we move through to the regional final. But instead, here we have Team Storm up against Attack on Chimera Ants.
Yes, I think Chimera Ants are the ones who beat Team Immunity.
Yes, I think so.
Yes. There's 2 more spots available through Cybergamer, I believe.
Yep.
2 more from the Road to Glory, but I don't think IM can play in that.
We'll have to see. I mean, they'll definitely be playing if they can, but unfortunately, they have a pretty bad luck in qualifiers, that team.
Yeah.
Whether playing under Immunity or their old names. Yeah, they've had some unfortunate luck here. But instead, we are into Storm versus ACA. Storm are 2-0ing their opponents as well in their quarterfinals, so looking pretty good here in the semi. We'll see who wins out in this game here as Syndra is going to hit the bin here. As on the blue side, we'll kick off with Storm, and ACA on the right there on the red side.
And one familiar face on Team Storm. Trickster is actually Domo, I believe.
Really?
Yes, that is. He's on the AD carry role now, I think.
Yes, he used to play jungle way back in the day for Immunity, actually. I guess we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And then our teams before them. So kind of cool to see these guys coming up. High there on the challenger ladder. Zillion the band there as well from Storm. Nidalee the first band there coming out from ACA. We'll have to see what else comes here. Kind of interesting to see champions that definitely influenced the last series of games we watched between Envy and YSC to come through here as well. So clearly, a lot of these top champions being picked and banned by all these top teams here in Challenger. Yeah, so like Kha'Zix is the next band here as well. So we'll keep letting you know which champions are getting picked and banned, guys. We'll walk you through the draft. Or production, just sorts whatever's going on there. But Oriana's the last band here as well by Storm, and that leaves the last band here as well. So, Minky, before we get into any deeper into the draft, you've recognized Trickster here on Storm here.
Yep.
What else do you know about either of these teams, of course, from the Challenger series?
Swiggle and Spoil were on the old AV team, AV Team 2. And Azula, I believe, is a new mid laner. Oh, there's a DC. Okay. And I'm pretty sure he mains Syndra and Oriana, which just got banned by Team Storm.
Which would make a lot of sense.
Yes.
Aurelia was the last band that we saw there as well. Looks like we have to swap sides. That was the issue.
So there's going to be a redraft then, I guess?
Yeah, that would make sense. We'll see. I mean, it is quite likely that the teams will just want to play the same bands anyway. Although, we'll see. They can mix it up now that they know what's going on.
I believe different sides require different bands because you don't get first pick.
Oh, that's true, of course.
Yes.
You got to tell them strategies. Man, it's almost like you're a pro player.
Almost like
I think you've done this before, Mickey. Well.
Oh.
But we'll see what happens here as the teams are going to swap sides here. So that means we are going to have ACA on the left. They're going to be our blue side for this first game here in our best of 3. And Team Storm on the right. They'll be our red side for this first draft. So kind of 2 more up-and-coming teams, or less-known teams, I guess. We've got YSC and Immunity were the 2 biggest names. Oh, and Envy as well. The 3 big names here in this qualifier. Kind of 2 lesser-known teams who made it here through to the semi-finals. YSC, if they keep playing the way they did, looking real strong here in this tournament. In fact, after Immunity going out and Envy going out to YSC, we've actually got 2 of the 3 big names out now. Yeah. So YSC kind of carrying the banner of teams we know well, at least. So we'll see what happens here.
I really wanted to see Immunity take on YSC in the finals, but guess that's not going to happen now. So one of these teams, hopefully, we can see something good from them, and they'll have potential to beat YSC. I think they do. I think they do have the potential to beat YSC.
I mean, YSC, of course, still have to play their semi-final as well. So maybe we'll get through that, but probably the favourite here at this point, given the teams that are left in the qualifiers so far from the semis. So Nidalee Aurelia there for ACA as we have swap sides. There we go. ACA on your left, Team Storm on your right this time around. Lulu there, the last band, and Zillion, Syndra, and 1 more left here for Storm. So looks like Zillion being banned out. Pretty much Storm definitely respecting that champion, and seems like Azula getting targeted out with that Syndra, and possibly the Ori band here as well, that we did see out from Storm in our initial round of drafting here.
Now Maokai's still open here. They're going to leave it. Oh, yeah, Kha'Zix is banned. So Swiggle has a choice of taking Maokai because Nidalee is banned. So we'll see what happens here.
I mean, always important to consider your first pick, I think, on blue side. I mean, people quite like blue side. Getting first pick's pretty sweet in the draft, but you always have to think of not just what you're picking, but which 2 champions you're giving away as well. Because that's always the problem with blue side is that, yes, you get first pick, but you're picking the best of 3 champions and the other team gets the other 2 usually. So Maokai here is maybe the consideration, but we'll see. Plenty of time here for ACA to sort out what they do want. And then we'll see what happens on the other side here for Team Storm. As we have kicked off our semi-final game here, Game 1 here of this best of 3 series. Remember, all games here in this tournament are best of 3, so we'll be seeing plenty of League of Legends this evening, MQL.
Yep. I feel like there's not as many best of picks anymore. Like before there was Kog'Maw, it was the best AD carry, Tristana was second. Now there's like, you know, and the Maokai was definitely the best, you know, but like now there's not so many. Maokai is like kind of counterable now. They nerfed him a little bit with his ultimate as well, so he's not too bad. Tristana isn't too bad either, you know, with Lucian being so strong and being able to bully her out. So, you know, people are finding counters to like all the top picks. So the top picks are more situational rather than just pick that because it's open.
Yep. I mean, Maokai is a pick here. It's a very strong pick here to kick things off for ACA, but Oriana's already been locked in for Team Storm. So it looks like Youngie actually kind of blocking that away, I guess, from Azula.
Yeah.
He's a big Oriana Syndra player, which is always good to take picks away.
So they didn't ban Oriana, they banned Kha'Zix instead. They baited them to pick Maokai and just stole Ori off them. It's very, very good.
Potentially going to pick up Cog here as well for their AD slot, but plenty of options there as well. Lucian, as you mentioned, arguably not the best AD carry, but one of the best to blind pick because he's just so aggressive and plays into so many lanes well. But we did see actually in the last game, Corki is a great pick in there as well, and you can definitely play into Lucian-based lanes in the bottom lane as well. So
a lot of teams can play Lucian mid as well.
that's true.
In particular, AV Kenzie, he loves his his Lucian mid, so he's kind of a flex pick as well. So not too dangerous picking him early. If he gets countered bot lane, you can just put him in mid.
And then all hell breaks loose here as Cogway is actually the pick for Storm as well. So it looks like Trix is going to be playing that AD carry. And 2 picks here as well for the blue side. We'll see what ACA want to pick up in their next round here. Plenty of champions open here in this game. And as you said, Mickey, games definitely evolved to a place where a lot more picks in general. A lot more champions that people want to play. Definitely people are getting better at building team compositions and not just picking the champions that are the best. So be interesting to see what ACA want to go for here. We've already got the makings of a great team on the Team Storm side as well with Oriana plus Kog'Maw. And looks like we're going to pick up, Nami, they're going to be the support, which I think is actually a nice takeaway from Kog'Maw lanes. Nami just such a good, so good at protecting an immobile AD carry. I feel like it's a really good choice there for ACA.
And the jungler with Elise as well, so it looks like, you know, they're going to get like a lot of aggression early with Maokai, Elise. Probably going to go for team fights and dragon control with those two. Nami is a great pick, as you said, against with and against 80 carries with no mobility. With the Nami slow, you can easily hit bubbles on 80 carries that can't move. A good counter to Nami, however, is Braum. You can block the bubble and the heals.
Yep.
So
and the wave.
Yes.
Which is just, it sucks.
Yeah.
Feels so bad when it happens.
Definitely be looking for a Braum or maybe an Alistar over on Storm side here.
Ooh, Alistar. I would like season support Alistar, but I will have to see what Storm do on here. They've got 25 seconds to make up their 3rd and 4th pick decisions now as well. So we are going to see Elise, of course, over on the ACA side, which is, again, kind of to be expected here, especially with the jungle like Kha'Zix ban. But Jarvan going to be going to the jungle, it seems like, in a very aggressive support here for Team Storm. It is Leona that will be being played by Brawler here.
Yeah, Leona's another good pick. The reason I forgot about her is because she's fallen out of the meta ever since Alistar and Braum came in. She's not that good at dealing with the tanky supports and the tanky AD carries, but she's definitely good at dealing with the squishy ones. So yeah, definitely a good pick against Nami there.
Going to be looking to play nice and aggressive there into that Nami. Yeah, we'll see what ACA want to go with as well. Tristana's kind of the expected pick, I guess. But you can play Lucian into Kog'Maw. It's not super exciting. But we'll see what they want to go for here. Makings of a pretty sweet team comp here on both sides here. I've got to say, I love the Oriana Jarvan synergy as well on the Team Storm side. Seen that combo time and time again. Yeah,
there's a lot of really good wombo combo on the Storm side. A lot of hard engage as well. And I think ACA do lack a bit of peel. They have Tristana to push them back and Maokai to like jump in. But other than that, if they get hard engaged in a bad way, with Jarvan Ori onto the back line, they might be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, and it almost feels like teams do this a lot when they have supports like Nami. They're just like, yeah, we'll be fine. You can just peel for everyone. It's like, well, not really. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to have Blind Turkey, the support, working overtime here, it feels like, on this Nami. But Yasuo is going to come in here as well, which is a great combo with that Nami. It actually works nicely with Maokai and Tristana, which is all sweet.
Yes.
Fun fact about Yasuo's ult. He stops the knock-up and re-knocks them up. Wherever they are, no matter how long the knock-up is, or knockback is,
yes.
In the case of Trist ult. So everyone's like, how awkward would it be if you like knock someone back and then Yasuo ults into the team because you bust a shot of them away? Well, thankfully, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
you can stop the buster shot from moving them back. and get a really, really quick initiation.
Also, Triss's ult can knock back multiple people, so...
Yes, you
Yasuo
can also
on
ult
the
multiple
top.
people,
Yes,
which is
yes.
very silly.
Yeah.
But we are going to complete the comp here. Jax is coming through here. Another champion you're very familiar with.
Yes,
Mickey.
yes. Interesting to see exhaust on mid as well. So Ori's getting it for
But
Yasuo, because Yasuo's Q actually scales off attack speed. So if you were to exhaust him, it actually increased the cooldown of his Q. So it reduces his effectiveness.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Increases his damage output.
Yeah,
By a
pretty
lot.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And especially with critting as well, he's not really an assassin, but he does do quite a bit of burst damage, especially when he starts critting you with the static shift coming in with the Infinity Edge. So it's nice just to be able to A-stop a lot of the upfront damage, and really new to his Q as well, as you mentioned, which is very important. I mean, it's kind of funny. I almost feel like people treat Lucian too much like an assassin and not enough like an AD carry sometimes. Because really, he's closer to a melee AD carry than an assassin, at least in my books.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Another interesting thing is the matchup of Jax and Maokai. Now, I'm not too sure about that Jax picking to Maokai, because Jax traditionally does not have a lot of sustain until he gets Blade the Ruin King, and even with that, the lifesteal in Blade the Ruin King has been nerfed so much that I don't think he can deal with Maokai's burst and poke in lane. So we'll see how that matchup goes, but I don't think it's a favorable matchup for Jax. If Jax, however, does somehow make it into late game with equal CS and a Blade of the Ruin King and a Triforce, he can definitely push out Maokai and win that lane.
So is there a point in that lane, kind of like the window matchup, where Jax maybe hits an item threshold or a level threshold and is able to really play into Maokai a bit more? Or is he just kind of behind until he gets his items, like for the first, say, 15, even 20 minutes of the game? I
think Jax would be heavily item dependent on this one. Like, even at 6, Maokai can easily out-trade Jax. He can keep pushing him out of lane as well, so I don't see much potential there unless Jarvan gets some good ganks with Jax. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
But you did mention in our last series, though, one of the best ways to counter Maokai is actually to split push into him.
Yes.
So if they can get that factor of the Jax going, that's really good for them as well.
Yes.
So there is the trade-off, I guess, there for Storm.
They really need to get him into late game. And like a good champion to split push Maokai into is the range champions, where Maokai can't trade back with his Q. So that would be like Nidalee and Kayle and Lulu perhaps. But Jax, not too much. Like if you jump in as Jax, you can get Q'd away. He'll just ulti. He can stun you. I don't know. There's a lot of areas where Maokai would beat Jax, and I feel that it's a really risky pick.
Okay, so we're looking for jungle pressure then towards the top lane.
Definitely.
Really get chippies through that top section there as well. Orianna here for Youngie. You're looking good. It's curious to see how well anyone really plays on Orianna. There's lots of good Ori players all across the world. OCA being no exception here as well. Kind of curious that Azula would go for Yasuo, actually. That's a really interesting matchup.
Yes. So Yasuo is Yasuo vs Ori is traditionally a skill matchup.
Yep.
They both have opportunities to outplay each other. However, Ori being a ranged champion definitely has the advantage early, and Yasuo has potential at around level 6. Yeah.
But Azula, as you mentioned, pretty well-known Orianna player here as well. So obviously he's going to know this matchup quite well here. Kog'Maw is also interesting because, as you mentioned, Kog'Maw was absolutely the best AD carry for a while, and as kind of dropped down, people realize he's a mobile. We can gank him. We can put a lot of pressure on. Definitely, not perfect.
Yes,
thankfully.
Along with the nerfs to his HP, his early game is quite lackluster. So maybe we'll see Elise putting pressure on bot lane with the immobile support and AD carry, and they have lack of peel also. So maybe we'll see that happen as well.
Yeah, be interesting to see what happens here. I mean, as always, jungle pressure going to be really, really important in the early stages of this game. But now we've got some aggressive jungles on both sides once again. I think it's Elise Jarvan again?
Yes. Elise Jarvan.
I've seen a lot of Elise Jarvan. No one likes Lee Sin anymore, or it gets banned.
Oath meta.
I was going to ask you, actually, as a professional player in the region, is there anything super different you've noticed between the regions, apart from just stylistically that we're quite aggressive, we like to brawl a lot? Are there picks that you don't see in other regions that we play a lot of, or do we tend to just kind of play whatever the world at large is playing?
I feel like apart from the Chiefs, all of the teams just pick the best champions in the lanes, in the roles.
Yep.
So whatever's meta, whatever's OP is what most of the OS teams will pick up and play, and that's fair enough. But I think we have a lot of room to diversify and to really build our own style. So hoping to see that come through. If not in this tournament, then maybe in the finals, in Oceanic finals.
Yeah, I mean, there's, again, plenty of League of Legends for you guys to watch tonight, so and there's plenty more to come as well. We've got Lots and lots and lots of league coming up here with the regional finals, and of course this Challenger qualifier, one of many qualifiers to feed into that tournament, which of course you'll be playing in as defending champions.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I cannot wait. So excited.
Awesome. So we are going to load into this game. Almost there, as we're going to see which team here. ACA versus Team Storm. Definitely a little harder one to call here. Haven't seen either of these two teams play today. Storm with a 2-0 victory and ACA with a, I guess, 1-0 victory against Immunity. A bit of disconnect issues, unfortunately, there for them. Yeah. But certainly a team that, made it this far. Top 8 Challenger teams here qualify for this tournament, which pretty impressive, to get that far up the ladder in rank 5s. And I hear from you guys there's not a whole lot of games you can play in Challenger because the queues are pretty long. Yeah. So it's pretty dedicated. Get all the way to top 8 Challenger.
They must have been queuing for a long time. Like, you can get like 1 hour queues in OS 5s.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. I feel like, I'm going to make a prediction here. Okay. I'm going to say that the dark horse is Team Storm, and they're going to take this series 2-1.
Okay. We had a 2-1 last time for YSC. He was wrong slightly. YSC 2-0. Yeah. Playing a really nice performance against MV, but Minky 2-1. Okay, we'll see. Storm, I actually really like their team comp. I just feel like they've built something that has no obvious or glaring weaknesses. Seems like a lot of comfortable champions here. They've got a good mix of good front line. They've got great utility plus damage as well. It's kind of a very balanced, very team fight heavy comp. Not super engagey. Like, they're not going massively hard to get engaged, but they've got a good mix of everything. And I think in general they just want to be fighting with this comp because where they can fall behind is potentially in bottom lane and top lane here as well because they've got some pretty lackluster early game laners here.
Yeah. The danger here is definitely the top lane. If Jax somehow gets ahead of Maokai, ACA will be in a lot of trouble dealing with that Jax split push late game because they really have nothing to do with it. Like, Jax could easily deal with Yasuo or Maokai if they were to split push against him. He could even take on Tristana. So, if that guy gets big, it's going to be a bit of trouble there for ACA.
All right, well, we are into game 1 here of this best of 3 between ACA and Team Storm. ACA will kick things off on the blue side here for this game, and Team Storm over on the red side. As we are going to see level 1s here. Both teams probably just going to hang out and be nice and defensive, but we will see. Maybe teams are going to mix it up here as we do get deeper. And we are in the semi-finals of the Challenger Qualifier here for the Oceanic Regional Final. And everyone's just going to kind of check out what's happening here. Make sure no jungles get invaded. So we mentioned a little bit about Team Storm's comp there before we got into the game, but I kind of like what ACA's got going in here as well. I mean, I'm quite a big Yasuo fan, as most people are aware, but there's a lot of cool stuff going on here for them as well. Lots of playmaking opportunities here with Nami and Yasuo. Good frontline there with Maokai and some great support with Elise as well. And Trist, of course, very safe, very reliable AD carry.
Yeah, definitely. The late game for ACA is quite strong as well, especially their team fight. They're 5-on-5. It's not too bad. As long as they don't get hard engaged by the Jarvan Orianna combo, they have huge potential to just snowball.
They've got an absolute bucket load of damage here and a really good champion to support it as well, especially with Maokai being such a great frontline tank. My one concern actually here in terms of just general strength is that there's actually a power trough here for both Yasuo and Tristana towards that mid game. So Yasuo's early lane is quite good and then kind of tapers off. Static Shiv helps a lot because he's able to clear out waves and go split pushing, but you're really farming for the next maybe 10 minutes to get an Infinity Edge or Blade of the Ruined King or next item. And Tristana, as we mentioned in the last game as well, known for that just mid-game drop and then all the way back in the late game where he just becomes so good. Oops, actually going to have some bros in the top lane hanging out. It's a bit of a scuffle happening. There we go. Squiggle on Chippies. Wow. Actually, Chippies maybe... Uh-oh. That would be very bad if Squiggle died at level 1.
That was a really good trade there by the Jax. As you can see, Maokai is just sustaining up every 7 spells. He gets 7% HP back. And he's just pumping out Qs.
Yeah, I mean, Chippies here. It's kind of almost cheesy, I guess. It's kind of cute, but... did manage to get a good amount of damage down, but as you mentioned, Minky, Maokai is going to be real happy in that top lane in this matchup here.
An interesting thing to see is that Jax actually started Flask, so he's going to have a lot of sustain to counteract Maokai's poke, and Maokai only has 1 pot now because he wasted 1 after the trade initially, so if Jax can maybe get another good trade off, like so, Maokai's going to get pushed out of the lane.
That was a really, really strong trade there. Squiggle taking a ton of damage there from Chippies. And those consumables are going to be used here in just a moment, you have to think as well. I mean, Maokai got great sustain with that passive, as you mentioned, but can't afford to just clank out Qs all the time, especially even with the Doran's Ring there helping him out a little bit on the mana regeneration front. So great start to the top lane here for Chippies.
Chippies is playing it very well. Looks like an adept Jax player.
Yeah, again, very adorable hiding in that brush, but very, very effective here in a bad matchup. So we'll see how things develop there. Going to move on down to the mid here. We do see Azula hanging out here with Youngie. Yasuo versus Orianna. Orianna definitely has to respect Yasuo's range here, especially with that Q. You don't want to get you don't take too much damage. I mean, you're great at fighting generally 1v1 as Orianna against other mid laners, especially his range versus melee, but you definitely have to respect Yasuo's damage. He can just jump on top of you in these early levels and really do quite a number here. As Blind Turkey going to take a good chunk of damage there from Kog'Maw. Spoil here, though, just trying to farm up where he can. And kind of to be expected here in the bottom lane. Oh, is Kog'Maw's getting pushed back into this tower pretty aggressively.
Yeah, the bot lane here by ACA with Nami Triss, they're doing the right thing. They're pushing in the Kog'Maw Leona lane so that...
So you're actually taking quite a lot of damage on Jarvan, forced out of the jungle there by Sybil on that at least.
Yeah, so that if Leona were to hard engage, there'd be a huge creep wave behind them, and you know, it really denies her that chance to even engage. But if
Chippy's doing work, does not have Ignite unfortunately. Oh my god, he's gone real deep. Leap strikes in there, actually does take a tail hit but doesn't die. There's a very tenuous lane here, and thankfully for them, although they don't know this, there are no junglers nearby. So Chippy just going to go back to base there.
Chippy's on Jax is playing really well to deal with this Maokai.
Need to go back. He's going back in the Counter-Strike. Does land in power! He's going to pick up that first blood. And Chippy's, goodness gracious me. What was that about him being a bad matchup, Mickey Well?
I'm wrong.
No, I do actually agree with that. I think it is a bad matchup, but Chippy's just played that beautifully from level 1.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
It's okay, I'm not calling you all out. Just really well played there. Really, from level 1, Chippy's just asserted dominance in the lane, constantly pressured down, used that Crystalline Flask here, but Chio not going to rotate that one. They have to come back with his Blind Turkey going to move in. Lots of damage there as the Flag and Drag knocks him up. And Trickster is going to pick up that kill. Really nice pressure there from Jarvan. And a lack of vision on that bottom lane. Those trinkets running out. Going to give Team Storm an easy 2-kill lead here.
ACA over-aggressive here with no trinket wards on the river. So, you know, they had the trinket wards up, they just didn't use them. And tiny error there. And it led to, you know, that kill on bot lane.
Azula here trying to get aggressive, but is taking damage back and forth here from Youngie. Already a little low on mana, which is going to happen here. Of course, yes, we're a resourceless champion, so pretty happy to stay in lane, but they're just going to both farm up safely here. And very even on CS, actually. One separating them currently. With Orianna going back to base, we'll lose a couple more. But things looking up here.
And so even though Jax did get the kill on Maokai, Maokai's still ahead in CS. You're going to start to see the Maokai push out Jax.
Oh, that's a good cocoon actually there from Sybil. Chippy's forced to use a Counter-Strike, actually. Kind of likes his chances in the 2v2 now as Chi has rotated up. But I think kind of fancied the 2v1. Although it looks like Elise and Jarvan are going to back off here. And Chippy's will return to lane.
Yes.
Maokai, though, as you said, still looking nice here in this lane with a nice little CS lead. I feel like a champion that very much still has the advantage in this matchup, despite being a kill down. See, Chio's trying to clear out wards. A good sapling there from Maokai, though. I think suspected that Jarvan was going to be here. Now continuing to lane the Chippy's with that Q. And again, Maokai just kind of come back. I actually really like the fact that Squiggle's just been like, you know what? That wasn't ideal. Didn't really enjoy dying 1v1, getting first blooded, but just going to comfortably play here and keep playing the advantageous matchup. Because really, he's in a good spot here, still in this matchup, despite being a little bit behind, especially given that he stayed even in CS. I have to ask you actually, Mickey, did you see a bit of a trade coming through? Chippy's once again just trying to fight Squiggle, but the ultimate is popped there by Maokai. Twisted advance, moves forward in there as well. Chippy's trying to fight him back, but it's so tanky as Maokai. When the ultimate pops, he is going to go down. Absolutely massive amount of burst damage there by Squiggle. And there we go, trades 1v1 kills. Yeah.
And that is the Maokai matchup actually shining through. So
you were right.
Chippy's really did well at the start to get that kill and to get ahead, but he went too hard. He took too much of a risk there. If he just kept farming, if he TP'd back, you know, with more items and, you know, played the lane safely, he would have outscaled the Maokai later. But, yeah. Bit of an error there by him.
So I was going to ask you, in fact,
yes.
Do you feel like Sheen is maybe a greedy choice here for Chippy's? Because I think he got that first kill and just felt like, you know what, I can really continue to dominate and snowball this lane, and kind of wanted the Sheen to get even more aggressive.
Well, the thing with Maokai is that he has a lot of sustain, but like, if you can outburst him in one go and just finish him off, then like, you know, his sustain is not as great.
Yep.
I feel like the other choice would have been Phage or even Blade of the Ruined King, like getting the Vamp Scepter and
yep.
and
almost finishing Cutlass actually there as well.
Yes.
Chippy's actually going to get to its advance again. The counter-strike going to move it. Knew what happened last time, didn't quite like it. Does move out of the ultimate before taking damage, so that's nice here. But Chippy's is going to re-engage here. This is a really nice top lane play from both these top laners, actually. Kind of really demonstrating that they understand the limits of the matchup quite well. And Chippy's, of course, going to return to farming.
So the thing with Maokai is that you can trade with Maokai and then get away. So you W in with your stun, you throw the sapling, and you walk away and you Q. What Swiggle did there was he went all in and he traded with the Jax while letting him auto-attack him.
Oh, Cataclysm in the mid lane. There's Azul was forced to flash out. That would have been quite the shockwave there from Youngie, but a very, very quick flash there from Yasuo is going to keep him safe.
I feel like the top lane is down to the method of trading. Maokai definitely has the potential to trade without taking damage, and Swiggle needs to realize that and definitely dominate the top lane a lot harder than he is.
Yeah, fair enough. As you can see here, Sybil kind of hanging out down the bottom here, trying to get a kill in this bottom lane. Kog'Maw playing very, very safe with this Leona. Kind of have to, even with aggressive support like Leona. You can't really afford just to go all in as Squiggle once again fighting Chippies. The Chippies are kind of happy with what's happening here. The ultimate does proc there from Maokai, doing a decent amount of damage. But they're going to walk away on quite low health here. Jax looks like he's going to use his teleport to get back to lane here. And Squiggle does win that trade. Will push his lane in and get a little bit further ahead now. Back down the bottom, just farming happen here. In fact, 67 to 78. Just slightly ahead of Kog'Maw there. But the Trinity Force is on the way here for Kog. And it's kind of nice actually for Team Storm that Kog'Maw's Power Spike with that Trinity Force, which just enables so much of his kit, really does synchronize nicely with the Power Trough that Tristan is going to see when that Static Shift comes in. So I feel like Team Storm are going to have a really strong point in this mid game, maybe around the second Dragon fight, or even the first one at this point, around the maybe 15-minute mark, where they're going to have a big edge just in terms of overall power with their team comp. And they could really pressure an advantage and try and snowball from there off the 2 kills they already have. Yeah,
most definitely. Kog'Maw also has a kill at bot lane, so he's not too far behind, if not even. So he's pretty much just waiting for that first dragon fight, I feel. Yeah. Jarvan's coming around again.
For that gank now as well. Jarvan does get spotted off by a ward there, so the SEA bottom lane is going to play pretty carefully here. I think Nami's feeling fairly comfortable with a tidal wave up here, but nothing can go too wrong on the soul play. Does come out, double flash actually on the blind turkey, but now Sybil's around the side as well. The damage does move into Nami, the teleports are coming out as well. Gio, sorry, he's going to go down as Sybil picks up that first kill. Now Brawler, Mitchell is taking a lot of damage as Squiggle's going real deep with the twisted advance on top of Trickster, and there's the double kill for Elise actually, and the teleports come in. ACA play that really well despite their hard engage.
That was so sneaky by Nami there. He saw Jarvan with the ward, and he stood up aggressively on purpose just to bait the Leona ult, which he flashed, and then Maokai TP'd in. They recognized that Jax had no TP, they took advantage of it. And yeah, really won that team fight. Took a dragon off it as well. However, Jax is taking top tower now, so I feel like that's kind of an even trade because Jax is going to scale and keep pushing out Maokai if he does make that Triforce. So yeah, they have to watch out and not give Jax so much space.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they have no other areas on the map to move to really here. Scooter's actually going to come in for a gank here under Youngie as Azula. Going aggressive, he's going to try and find the Q. Does land it, but doesn't follow up with the ultimate. There's the flash, though. Twisted Advance in there as well. A great ultimate moving in there for Yasuo, plus the cocoon on top. And absolutely nowhere to get out of that CC chain.
Azula actually had no vision there, so he couldn't ulti off. He walked into the brush and tried to ulti, but by then, Orianna already fell down, yeah. So he waited for Maokai to Q and then ultied off that.
I did not realize you couldn't Yasuo with that vision, but it makes sense. Sybil here going to pressure this tower. In fact, if Azula stayed, well, there's a little low in health. They could have maybe ensured the turret kill in the mid here, but looks to maybe not. Jarvan and Jax have rotated there, and they're going to be able to defend that very easily up against that Elise, who's just going to wander back to her own jungle now.
Okay, Azula just picked up Static Shift, so he's power spiking now for the mid game. He won't get much stronger until he gets IE, so they might try to take an advantage of this and try to get that mid tower down.
Yeah, and look at Chip. He's really nice movement here from Jax. Just doing a good chunk of damage to that mid lane turret. I mean, Yasuo and Trist actually finished their static shifts. And unfortunately for them, that's bad news, as they're going to spend the rest of the game probably farming for 5 or 10 minutes. And this is one of the things where I don't know if they have enough lanes on the map to effectively farm here. Because usually when Yasuo hits this power spike, that's Chip. He's just going to dive on a Squiggle there, but he's got plenty of minions to clear out, so probably not going to go too deep. But yeah, when you have when this happens, you usually want to move Yasuo to one of the sidelines and get him to split push and pick up farm that way. But Tristana's kind of trying to do the same thing because she also needs farm. So I feel like maybe those two carries are competing for a lot of farm here in this mid game, and that could really hurt ACA as we move through the next 5 to 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah, well, as you can see, Yasuo is actually taking the Wolves and the Wraiths off Elise. Elise isn't really a farm-reliant jungler, so he has the Spectres and his Sightstone, so he's pretty much just going to be gank heavy now, and Yasuo is just going to take mid-farm and the neutrals on the side, I feel.
Yeah, Elise is moving in here as well. It's a great bait. Chippy's actually gets to go mid-leap strike, and that's a great kill there for Sybil. Elise really showing some strong presence here all around for ACA.
ACA are really sneaky.
Yeah, they love baiting you in. They know what's going on. I mean, I assume it's attributed to really nice ward vision, actually, because the last 3 to 4 kills that they've gotten is just really strong movement and really good vision around the map. So when you're playing Triss Yasuo, it's very important to know what's going on.
And when you do have vision of a jungler and when you do see someone coming, it's just a natural instinct to run away. And it takes a lot of restraint to just stand there and just like, you know, bait it in. So
Oh, Sybil though could be in trouble here up towards the top lane. The tower has gone down here. Chio's taking a lot of damage. Actually, Squiggle is going to get that first kill here. Now Chippy's trying to kill Elise. Does flash forward. Leap Strike will get the next kill there. And now Youngi's rotated up, so Squiggle finds himself in all sorts of trouble. And he's going to go in here. Now Yasuo is coming around the side. Flashes forward there. Youngie gets his ult as well, but Yasuo also will feel, although Squiggle will pick up yet another kill. Spoiled down the bottom has picked up Brawler there as well. And Azul is actually chasing on for Chippy's now. Going to try and land that Q, but just short out of range. And across the map there, 4 for 2 trade, in favor of ACA.
Orianna actually had ultimate there, and she couldn't use it because Maokai kept running away from the ball. So she tried to Q and ulti him, but Maokai stunned her straight away, and she tried to put the ball back. But then by then, Yasuo was there and exhausted her. So it's really well played by ACL.
Yeah, spoiled her. Nice movements down towards the bottom lane. Able to pick up a kill there onto that Leona for Tristana and pick up the turret here. And all of a sudden, ACA have really opened up this map. 4,000 gold ahead. Now, well, just about, there we go. Cannon going to go down as well, pad that gold lead. And that's exactly what you want for ACA. This is supposed to be a time in the game where they're, playing scared, maybe, contesting for some objectives, but making sure they get their farm. And instead, they're aggressively roaming, they're using their map pressure, using their vision, and they've got just a whole bunch of gold on 2 important carries here.
Yes. A lot of the gold lead, however, is on Elise. We have to see how she snowballs that lead in the jungle. Elise, she doesn't really scale well with items, so having a lot of gold on her isn't as important as, say, one of the other champions, such as Yasuo or Tristana, but it's still not too bad. So Maokai and Elise have most of the gold, but I still think it's not too bad for Team Storm. They can still come back in team fights.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're just getting a little caught out here as ACA start roaming around the map, and it's cost them a couple of kills and objectives here as well. And actually, this is hilarious to me, by the way, that Yasuo and Tristana have mirrored their builds. They have almost identical inventories right now. Although it's actually a scrying ult completed for Spoil nice and early here, swapping out their Trinket on AD carries, but they're well on their way to Infinity Aegis here, and that's going to be a massive, massive jump in DPS. Oh, Brawler actually could be in a bit of trouble. He's going to find Tristana. There's the jump. A good flash actually out from under that, so the slow will not happen. The pressure will still move in here. Now Squiggle actually in trouble. Chippies and Chios here in the top once again here, and Maokai nowhere to run, gets stunned up by Counter-Strike, and he's going to go down again there to Jax as Chippies. I think he's starting to feel his groove here as this Jax against Maokai.
It's double buff for Jax as well with Triforce. Jarvan pretty much, he checked the brush if it was watered with his Trinket, and then stood in there and waited for Maokai to come. And yeah, easy kill for them.
And now pressure down his bottom turret here as well. Spoil pushing it on this Tristana. And really, Kog'Maw just kind of fell to his turret most of this game, and that's sort of what you expect here, but Trinity Fault has been finished. But again, kind of like the last series, when a team gets pressured this much and can't push out and make plays, you just slowly get starved with gold off the map, and Chippy's really chunking down that top turret there as well. It's down to about 60% health now.
Possibly could have stayed for a bit longer, but he can't see everyone on the map, so that's fair enough. He's doing really well top lane. He's starting to get that split push on. I think he can out-trade Maokai almost, so we'll see. He's opted for a Giant Spot over the Blade of the Wound King second item. I question that choice, but preference.
I mean, it's... Oh, Tidal Wave actually going to come in, actually slows up Brawler there. Great Aqua Prison up there as well. The teleport also moving in. Yasuo actually right on top of it. And the Solar Flare just for effect. Now Spoil gets shut down. Jeez. He took a ton of damage there from Kog'Maw as Maokai's going to dive his way back in. Blind Turkey could be in trouble. Doriana's moving the ball back here. Azula trying to kite back, but Squiggle is going to go down there a storm. Pick up yet another kill as Kog'Maw picks up the double. And a bit of a misstep there for ACA. A 3-for-1 trade there. Maybe not done as Chio's around the side as well, but they'll give it up for now, and a little too aggressive on the blue side.
Way too aggressive on Tristana. She jumped all the way in and just got instantly killed by Jax. If she didn't die so quickly, if she stayed in the team fight and just poked around, I feel like ACA would have won that quite convincingly.
Got the perfect pick on the Jarvan as well. Like, they laid that CC perfectly. It was Tidal Wave into Aquavision into Solar Flare, and then Yasuo as well. There's just no way whoever's getting locked up. A Sybil actually getting dove in there. Does repel, but it's not enough there. And Cogwell's going to get yet another kill. That's 3 kills in about as many minutes there for Trickster. What's that Storm? Are going to be forced to back away. Spoil maybe can justify the aggression now. Actually flashes away. There's the rocket shot moving in. The butter shot comes out. And it is going to be enough with explosion shot coming in as well. Azula trying to take on Brawler now as well. Cogwell will run back there. Blind Turkey actually going to pick up that kill there onto Leona. And it's really the bloodthirsty region we know and love, Mickey. There are so many fights happening now.
Yeah. Bloodlust is real. I feel that was quite messy, to be honest. But yeah, good pickup by ACA, capitalizing on TS's mistake there. So they're going to take 2 towers off that.
And yeah, Tristana really kind of pushing her way around now. I think Spoil definitely thought he was a little bit bigger than maybe he was. Maybe he actually is, but plenty of damage going to be done to this turn. But they're going to stay here. Chippy's going to dive in. That's not a great rocket jump out that's going to keep him safe. And the Aquaprison just to kind of ensure they get away here as well. Nami ult is available if they want to burn it here. And Chico's actually going to go in. They do use the Tidal Wave there, and now Sybil's going to move back in as well. Squiggle actually going to lock down Chippy there with a twisted advances. Youngie now maybe the focus as Chicoon narrowly misses there. In fact, Sybil's going to keep running there. Going to take out the Jax. No, not quite yet. The flash fall for the auto and gets him with the Q as Brawler takes out Spoil though. And now Blind Turkey going to get chased out there by Chio. The Squiggle did take out Youngie. Oh, the Q not quite enough there. Blind Turkey does get out there. Now Sybil being chased down by Leona and the Jarvan. Just missed the flag and drag there, I think, as well. And this Nami, very, very sneaky. Actually going to run out there. Chio's going to go down as Sybil moves back in. There's a Kakuna onto Brawler there as well as Blind Turkey still running for his life on this Nami. That's a great double bubble there as well. In fact, they're going to dive on the Trickster with Azula in here as well. There's the Q40. He's going to get the kill on the Cogwell. Moving forward there for the dash. They're going to get yet another one. There's the Q to lock it up again for Azula. And again, a little bit messy, but great, great, great fights there all across the board.
Team Storm just, they had the lead and they got too greedy. They, it was 2 for 1 Team Storm's way, and then they kept chasing. They overcommitted, and then they all died. That's unfortunate by them because that was a really good team fight.
Yeah, and again, some really sneaky baits here from ACA. Yeah. They just know everyone is really calling out this Elise, especially here. Sybil doing a lot of work, making sure she supports his teammates. I mean, there's a reason she's been involved in 12 of the 17 kills that her team has gotten so far, and has 6 of them as well. It's just because this Elise is always in the right place at the right time there for her teammates.
Youngie on Orianna actually hit 3 of the back line with the Orianna ulti. Unfortunately, he didn't have enough damage. If you look at his item build, he has Morello's, Tia, and Arm Guard. It's not much AP, so we're going to have to wait until he actually finishes probably the Zhonya's and maybe the Death Cap as well, until he starts dealing out some real damage. But for now, he's pretty much like a utility kind of champion for now.
Yeah, and I mean, Kog was doing a decent amount of damage, so Orianna can set Kog up quite well, but when Jax isn't in the fights, especially when he can't get really involved in the back line, they're going to actually be quite short on damage until Orianna picks up. And there's one of the dangers, I think, with a lot of Orianna comps is that you sometimes run low on damage, because Orianna really needs quite a big chunk of farm to actually start doing damage, and if she doesn't do damage, she feels so much less effective than she normally should be.
Yeah, and Jax here split pushing like he should. They just need to stall the game a little bit, let Jax like ramp up, just dominate the game through split push. I think I don't think they can win another 5v5 like that. I think they got lucky that fight, to be honest. Yeah,
I mean, it was a little bit greedy of SK initially in that first fight to get such a great pick on Jarvan and then overcommit a little and then back, and then it's been a lot of pressure now. As looks like Chippies did take out the top turret there. We're trading tier 2s back and forth actually, and Chippies when they go for this inhibitor turret. No one's actually coming back here. Maokai's teleport isn't even available, so ACA going to have to commit here. But Jack's going to get a lot of free damage on this turret. In fact, it's done. Inhibitor tower gone here. And Chippies even has his teleport back up if he really wants to fight in. So Storm done a great job of delaying the push in there for ACA. Now Maokai's coming through as well. They're going to have a fight here. In fact, Squiggle, I don't think he can fight him here potentially 1v1. Chippies going to look again. The damage does come through there. Good stuff from the Counter-Strike. Vengeful Maelstrom will proc off here. And Maokai's going to try and fight him, but Jax just wants to stand his ground. Chippies going to go back in once again. Squiggle's in a whole host of trouble as he heals himself up off the passive. Takes a couple tower hits there as well. But Jax really trying to commit for this inhibitor. And somebody else needs to come back, Mickey Well.
Yeah. So Jax here just completely out-traded Maokai there. I feel like he went too deep and he could have just kept on bashing that inhibitor and forced Maokai to come back in instead of, chasing him into the next turret. But yeah, still well played by Jax. He took 2 turrets down and he's got a lot of pressure on the top lane and forced Maokai back, so that ACA's team fight was a lot less effective because, you know, their main tank wasn't there.
I was actually curious to see if Jax was going to throw down a ward and try and TP back and get it, but didn't quite have vision on the rest of ACA, so did not want to commit to that play, which is smart. Definitely not, again, overcommitted. Seems to have gotten both these teams into trouble at different points in this game, so we'll try and keep things nice and relaxed for now. As it looks like Dragon is back up here, and ACA looking to pick that up next.
So Kog'Maw does have a lot of farm. He's 6-3-1. There's Fire Force. He's almost got Blade of the Ruined King. So we can expect him to be doing a lot of work late game as well.
Dragon does go down there as well for ACA, so a bit more gold in their pockets here. Got a pretty decent lead, about 5,000. Creeping to 6 as well. So a nice little lead here, 24 minutes in. Just starting ramping up as well. In fact, both Yasuo and Trist have kind of hit the next stage of their power spikes here as well. We've got Infinity Edges and Static Shivs across the board here for those 2 carries. And Chippy's here is going to find Squiggle once again, but Yasuo and the rest of the team are joining now. So I don't think Chippy's quite so on this. There's Azula surfing on the minions as Yasuo, and that's a great ball. What a leap strike from Chippy. Now the tidal wave is going to come in. Will juke it though, as it's not quite tight enough an angle. And that was a really nice escape there from Chippy's. Beautiful reactions on Jack.
Really good escape. I think he got a bit lucky there. He was a bit slow to react. His team pinged about 5 times before he started moving, so...
Exhaust actually down to Chippy's. There's the ultimate coming for Yasuo, but a great shockwave is going to come in there for Youngie. That's going to be the first kill for Jax onto Azula. A Squiggles in the background trying to take out Trickster. The double though as Nami's going to go down, and Jax is ripping through people in this team fight. Squiggle, they're going to pick up the kill on the Trickster as well. And Storm have been absolutely scattered here by ACA. They're going to keep looking there as well. There's the flash Eon to spoil. They're going to try and lock him down. A great command attack, in there from Ariana. Now Chippy's going to sight out this Elise, who's going to be the last kill here potentially. Good flash comes out there from Elise to escape. Oh, Xenoblade just missing there. I think was actually stunned and couldn't move through, which is quite lucky. Very nice timing there on that one. But a 4-for-1 trade, excuse me, sorry.
And Chippy's just doing work there. He got 3 kills that fight. He escaped and wasted Nami ulti and pretty much like baited their whole team into a bad position. Good Ori ult as well. Hit 3 people on top of Jarvan. So that was a really good team fight by Team Storm.
Yeah, and that's what they need to keep doing with this combo if they want to come back into this game. You know, a couple thousand gold down. It's not completely unwinnable at this point by any stretch of the imagination, but they really need to keep doing more of that. That's the good stuff. That's what they want. And this Baron especially is going to get contested more and more as you creep towards that 30-minute mark in this game. And Sybil, you can see, really trying to assert vision over the Baron area here, because both teams know it's really, really important this buff is contested. I'd be a little bit careful actually there if I was Kog'Maw. Don't want to get Yasuo'd.
So Jax is changing his split push to the bottom lane. There's actually 3 towers up for grabs there, so he's going for those. Teleport is up, so he can join the team fight whenever he's needed. Team Storm are just playing safe right now. They're just getting vision, trying to deny as much as possible. They lost the red buff, but they're going to reply that with the tower, so it's not the worst situation here.
And ACA just really trying to force something here, trying to get a little bit more pressure. I think they've just decided they don't want to deal with Chippies. They'd rather try and force aggression on other parts of the map here. So the outer turret does go down there in the bottom, and this tier 2 turret's going to go down there as well. And you can see Team Storm playing very, very intelligently. Just playing back, protecting their turrets when they can, just letting Jax do as much work as he needs to. I feel like I've seen this movie before, Mickey Well. you would never do this in a competitive game, would you? No,
that's terrible. Okay, so AC have sent Yasuo down bottom to deal with the Jax. Jax has actually built a lot of MR, so it's not bad, but Yasuo really has to watch out here, because Jax has a lot of potential to outplay him, especially with Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, do you know how Steel Tempest interacts with Jax's Counter-Strike? I don't know if you dodge.
I'm not sure. I wouldn't know.
That was one for Twitch chat. Azula here. Just going to clean out some minions. And I feel like, I don't know if Azula can 1v1 Chippy's Jax here, but I think it's probably got the best wave clear of the champions they have left. They can afford to move down to the bottom lane. So I do like the choice to move Yasuo down there. Although, of course, lack of teleport is going to hurt there a lot.
Jax does have Randuin's Omen now, so if he was to fight the Yasuo, I think the Yasuo would be a great disadvantage. Really needs to be careful now.
Yeah, I think that was more of a band-aid there from ACA, just being that we have to send someone or Jax is going to keep pushing cards. Already got 2. Don't want to give him another inhibitor tower. And we're actually going to have Baron aggressed on here now as well by ACA. No vision actually by TS. That's a little bit sloppy.
It's actually a sneaky 2-man Baron there. They're hoping that Storm wouldn't recognize it because they put 2 middle and Maokai was in vision. Obviously,
Squiggle actually forced a flash over the back of Baron there as well. Almost got himself killed. Oh, there's Chippers as well going into Blind Turkey. Ultimate is here for Nami, which he uses, does move it out there. Oh, Zenith Blade hits Spoil actually there. And the Soul Flare's on top as well, but there's so much feel here for that team. The Oriana does not hit, unfortunately. And now Chippy's taking a lot of damage here, still trying to do what he can, but Spoil picks up that first kill. And Team Storm, they've got no frontline left, really, no key ultimates. And a very unfortunate play there. Oh, poor Oriana.
the reason that Oriana ulti missed was because Yasuo wall actually blocked the ball from going to Leona. So Oriana tried to shield Leona and then ulti, but Yasuo instantly put up the wall to block the ball, and then Oriana ended up ulting herself, which was quite tragic, but it's a very
fantastic play from Yasuo.
fantastic play, very well done.
And now ACA potentially could go back for this Baron again. That was very sneaky, the two-man Baron. Again, they're simply continuing the trend of doing sneaky things in this game, Mickey well. Oh man, look at the Baron damage here as well. Yasuo Trist was doing a tremendous amount of damage to this Baron. And the unfortunate Team Storm, they cannot defend this at this point.
I think Storm went too aggressive there. That Leona was too deep. His team couldn't follow up on his stun, which was unfortunate. So they just really need to rethink the way they fight to just get that Jax in a good split push and not make too many hard plays.
Yeah, I mean, the issue there is once Baron's being aggressed on by ACA, they're pretty much forcing the 4v4 or the 5v5. And ACA have a pretty good 4v4 team, I have to say. I mean, you have to send someone to deal with Jax, unfortunately, but you move anyone else out, you're generally okay. That's one of the advantages, I guess, of having two really strong carries. I don't know. Every team fight here from ACA just looked really, really good. They've just played this Yasuo Trist, I guess this Maokai Yasuo Nami call really, really intelligently.
In a Baron fight, 4v5, the Baron can be considered as an extra champion. So if someone's in a Baron pit, and you fight them 4v5, the Baron is actually doing damage behind them and reducing their MR with his skill, the Baron skill, the Rain. Yeah. So yeah, it's not the worst thing trying to fight people off Baron 4v5, and Jax did have TP, so they didn't actually need to fight that. They could have pushed him off 4v5 with Jax TP and just let him split push again. But yeah, they chose to engage, and that was the consequence there, unfortunately. Yeah,
and instead, ACA get Baron now looking to pressure and really hammer this game home at this point. I mean, they still kind of have to break the base here, but they have a decent gold lead still, 4,000 gold ahead so far, and of course, plenty of effective gold in Baron stats as well. And they've got Tristan here, level 14 now there for Spoil. So they're going to have pretty good sieging ability here as well. And of course, great disengage with Elise and Nami. So they're going to set this up really nicely. They can move Maokai to another lane to 1-4 push, which it looks like what they're doing here. And they should be able to break some turrets and really force some fights pretty soon here. And of course, once inhibitors start going down, that's going to be the signal for ACA to kind of move in and close this game now.
Yes. The game is quite even, actually. Even though they have Baron buff, it's only 4k behind.
You can see Squiggle actually tanking up this turret just a little bit here. They're going to try and poke in as much as they can. Baron regen helps a ton here in poke wars. And the tower does regenerate, but if they keep... excuse me. If they keep sieging it, they'll slowly but surely get the tower down. They could maybe go for tower divers, although that's quite risky at this point.
Definitely. Against that team, it is quite risky, especially with Oriana. If someone dives, Oriana can use her ball to... You're excused. Yeah, if Maokai does dive really hard, Oriana can use her ball to zone out the backline. So that's just one thing they need to worry about.
I almost feel like they should be maybe moving Maokai to another lane. Potentially bottom there, as there's a big stream of red minions going in the wrong direction there for ACA. So could potentially move in there with Squiggle, who could of course TPing whenever he needs to. But we'll see what happens here. ACA feeling pretty comfortable in this spot, but they do have to break this base, because this game, as you said, is quite close here at 32 minutes in, with the gold lead only being about 4,000. Going to slowly use Wind Wall, poke in there as well. Oh, yep, he actually going to get initiated on there as Azula goes in. Lots of damage there moving through. A good Zoni's there will protect Ori for a little while longer. And Azula gets exhausted and taken out there by Brawler in the backline as well. We've had a lot of people jump in as Chippies somehow gets out on that Jax here. And that might still be enough. It's actually 4v5 currently, but they push enough people off the turret. Good poke here coming through as well. They did a lot of damage there, but couldn't break the base. And that's really, really important for Team Storm to hold on.
And a one for nothing trade there. Luckily, Jax and Oriana just got out in like 100 HP. So, yeah, they got really lucky there. I feel that Oriana just doesn't have enough damage. She got a 4-man ulti out in the back, and no one died. No one even took any damage. So, she really needs to get more AP and ramp up. She does have Void Staff and Zhonya's, so you know, it's more of a defensive build, which is okay, especially against that comp. But she really needs more AP. She really needs more farm.
Yeah, and either the Archangel Staff being completed there with that tier, likely being ramped up to close to 750 mana, but of course you have to invest in the actual stuff there as well. Or, of course, the Death Cap, which will likely be the last item here as well for Ori. 2 really big AP items that will give you a big, big jump in your AP numbers. And really, really important to Ori, as you noted. I mean, it's not just enough to have a good shockwaves. It needs to be high impact as well. And if they're not doing enough damage, as you noted, they're not quite high impact enough to make the big difference you need them to be in team fights.
Another thing is Kog'Maw has opted for a Soul Shard for the defensive build, whereas and Triss as well. So they've both gone defensive builds rather than going full damage. In terms of ACA, they already have a lot of damage to Yasuo, I guess, so that's okay. But I feel like Team Storm really need Kog'Maw to dish out more damage because you know, Orianna just doesn't have enough at the moment. So I feel like he should have got perhaps an IE, or even Last Whisper. I guess he's getting it now. So you know, they really need that damage spike because yeah, he's just not doing enough in team fights.
Yeah, it really feels like Team Storm, I think, have definitely a superior late game here. Just in terms of their competition kind of works out really nicely. You do a lot of different things and make a lot of plays in fights. And they've got great damage with Ori, when Ori and Kog'Maw get ramped up. But the way they've built and the way this game's progressed, they're kind of looking more at like 4 5 item power spikes rather than your standard like 3 item power spikes. And you can definitely tell it's hurting him a lot here in this team fight, especially with Azula now. With all his damage items, that's all he's going to need. GA is coming up as well. Yasuo has definitely been running rampant in a lot of these team fights, and Triss is just cleaning up beautifully.
And ACA here have all the map control, so it's really hard for Jax to split push. He's quite scared because there's not much vision, so he could get ganked and die quite easily. That's really unfortunate because Team Storm really need to split push to win this game.
Yeah, and of course when Chippies can't leave the base, then Jack's not doing his job. So we'll see what happens here. Again, the siege has been quite protracted here from ACA. But a good wave clear here coming out from Team Storm. Kog'Maw using that Bio-Arcane Barrage range just to clear out minions from the safest distance possible, and then plonking in the ultimate as well whenever he feels like it. And Spoil just coming in there as well. Also doing the same, Static Shift plus Explosion Shot, clearing that creep waves quite quickly. And Baron will be back up in 45 seconds. I think that's the next point of contention there. You still see the seed is going to move in a little bit further. So Azula actually has been nominated for the 1-3-1 split push.
Okay, so Jax is about 400 gold off Blade of the Moon King. Once he gets that, Maokai stands no chance against him. The problem is Maokai just keeps grouping, so he's really got no chance to 1v1 against Maokai, but he's almost got that Blade of the Moon King. If they can get to a split push, they'll be in a really good position to close out this game.
Almost feels like something he would want to try and finish before this Baron fight starts, because this is where ACA are going now. Team Storm likely have a good idea of the timer, if not the exact timer at this point in the game, but oh no, Chippy. He's got to be careful. He's leading the charge. Nice sleep strike, very quickly away there. Cute little bait there by ACA, but really well sniffed out there by Team Storm. And we are going to begin the Baron dance once again here, and if ACA had a lot of Baron damage before, they have so much Baron damage right now. In fact, they look like they're maybe going to fight here. It's a little risky here. For ACA, they're almost going to opt into the 50-50. No, they don't. Squiggle actually going to move forward. They're going to try and find the Kog'Maw. He gets knocked off. Yasuo there goes in with the ultimate. And there's Orianna actually trying to defend off. They're forced to flash out of there. Squiggle's in the backline. They're Chio though now in the back trying to get us spoiled. But Tristana doing plenty of damage there as Maokai peels back now. Chippy's in trouble there as well as the front line's getting shredded there from Team Storm. Azula's going to pick up that kill. Now Brawler diving in with the Zenith Blade. It's going to get taken out by Triss once again for the double kill. And Youngie also taken out now as well. Does flash over the wall there as Repel comes out for a least. Spoil though. Very aggressive flash forward there for the double, and now Trickster going to be in trouble. Acrobatism lands beautifully there in, and the kick in on top of it all. The ace is completed there, and that could be the game here for ACA. A really, really nice bait around that Baron.
Yeah, really a silent MVP there for Yasuo there. Not only did he use that wall perfectly to block off all the damage by Kog'Maw, he also exhausted Jax just as he jumped in, so mitigated all of his damage. That's pretty much denying the whole team any damage to the whole fight. So
yeah.
Well done by Yasuo.
And you really saw that the front line from Team Storm just got completely shredded like ACA, and that will be game one going to ACA now. Really, really interesting game actually between those two teams. A great performance by both, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like Team Storm never really got into the best position to use their win conditions, but they played from behind quite effectively. They kind of knew what they needed to do in that game, just couldn't quite do it enough times.
Yeah, you could really see the potential for both teams to win that game. And yeah, ACA were just a better team and they closed it out really well.
So,
well played.
yeah, we'll have to see what comes out next game, of course. It is a best of 3 here in this semi-final between Team Storm and ACA. ACA now 1 game up, and we'll be back real soon to bring you more League of Legends for the Oceanic Regional Challenger Qualifier.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Pepper, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game with the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer. Life comes to games like never before.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Regional Challenger Qualifiers here for Oceanic League of Legends. My name is still Pastry Time. I'm still joined here by Minky Rail. It's Game 2 time between Team Storm and Attack on Chimeras, which is a great name.
And my name is still Minky Whale.
It is, yes. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have anyone else here. It's just brilliant. So ACA up a game there. Really interesting game. Lots of really elegant team fights, actually. Using that Yasuo really nicely there. I have to say I was very impressed by Azula's play, actually, kind of looking back on that game.
Yeah. He didn't have many kills. He only had 3, but like his impact in team fights was huge, and you know it takes a keen eye to see that. So not many people would notice. I just thought I'd point that out.
Thank you.
Did
I do
really
appreciate
well.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minky seeing all the sweet wing walls. Again, ladies and gentlemen, he's a pro player. Are you single also?
Yeah. No.
No? Oh, okay. Sorry, ladies.
Whoops.
Sorry.
I almost said yes.
It's okay. You can at least get the knowledge here as Mickey is joining me here for these games. We're in the semi-finals here for the Challenger Qualifier, which means we'll have at least potentially 2 more games here in this, and then, of course, our best-of-3 finals, where the winning team of that best-of-3 will go through for our challenger spot there for the Oceanic Regional Finals coming up, where they'll get to play the likes of the lovely Minky Rail and friends here from Legacy Esports. So, what do you think Team Storm are going to come into this game, maybe wanting to change here moving into Game 2? like team comps? Do they want to approach the game a different way?
I really think they're going to change their... I'm not so sure. Like, I feel like they had a good comp and they played it well. The only thing they need to change is how they approach team fights. They were engaging too deep. They weren't together. They had like... I feel like they were a bit disjointed in those team fights. And, you know, that's all they needed to do. They had a good comp. They had a winning comp. They had like a really good situation where they could have won the game. They just misplayed a bit. So I feel like that they're going to go for something quite similar to what they did. You know, hard engaged team fight and just try it again, really. Okay,
so Zilly and Italy, the first two bans here, are into Champ Select. So they're going to be banned up by Storm, of course. They're on the blue side here for this round. And over on the red side, it is ACA, Attack on Chimera. I can't remember, actually. That name's so silly. It's something like that.
From one of those anime cartoon things.
Yes. Italy there, the ban. Elise as well going to get banned out there, which actually is a pretty smart ban. Silver's Elise was quite influential in a lot of those fights, and especially in a lot of the skirmishes and ganks in the early stages of the game. So I kind of like that ban here, targeting the jungler. Kazik's going to get the ban once again here. And we'll see. Was there anything from either team you saw that maybe is worth a ban here as well? Do you think Yasuo is worth a ban here from Storm?
Perhaps, yeah. I think that they might go for the Yasuo. They could go for the Syndra ban again, but they might opt for the Yasuo. I feel like Storm managed Yasuo and Maokai quite well, so I feel like they're just going to try to do the same thing again. They banned out Triss. Maybe they thought Triss was a bit of an issue there, so...
Really, the last ban there as well. I think I like the Tristana ban, because you're right. I feel like they did actually manage Maokai and Yasuo quite well. So maybe in that case, Tristana's a problem, because it's probably not Nami that's the problem. Yeah. Well, it could be. Nami's very, very strong. But targeting out the Elise and the Tristana here, they're going to take Kog'Maw first, because also clearly putting a big, big, big priority on that champion.
And that was what the Tristana ban was for. So they banned, you know, Tristana and went for Kog'Maw. Traditionally, like last patch, that was like the key strategy to do, but since Kog'Maw got nerfed so much, like not many teams prioritize Kog'Maw, so it's not really worth banning Tristana to get Kog'Maw anymore, vice versa. So, you know, they could have just picked Tristana and the other team possibly wouldn't have taken Kog'Maw. I think they just prefer Kog'Maw over Trist here, so they just banned it out.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's probably a comfort thing here for Trickster, I feel like, where he's just so comfortable in his Kog'Maw that he wants to make sure he gets it, and kind of banning Trist mitigates a lot of the other stuff that could go wrong here. Could be seeing a very similar lineup here as well, though, for ACA. Believe played both of these champions that they're currently hovering over in their last game as well. Yes, they did. Squiggle on Maokai and Blind Turkey on the Nami, so if it ain't broke, don't... No, other way around.
If it ain't
broke, don't fix it. I almost said something else that I thought was wrong. But they are going to go for them again, so top lane Maokai and Nami once again. So do you like the Jax pick here? Did you like it last game? Do you think we should see it again from Team Storm?
I don't think he should go for Jax again, but he probably will because he did do quite well against Maokai. He didn't get punished for early game at all, and he scaled really well into late game, so you know he could go for that again.
So you maybe want to see something like Lulu here in the top lane, some of the other range top laners you can get?
Yes. I think Lulu would be a lot better to peel off Kog'Maw as well and to win team fights, especially if they're going to go Yasuo, so they got Yasuo Lulu. But we'll have to see what the draft comes out.
Yasuo Lee Sin here as well. See KT rolls to special. KT rolls to Arrow special. They love running Lee Sin Yasuo. They've got a bit of time here, although Chio has locked in Lee Sin here, so he's going to be playing that one. Was not banned last game, if memory serves correctly, so... Yes. Yeah, kind of interesting to see a change up here of jungle styles, but...
One thing I love is how Lee Sin's best move is called an insect.
Yes. It's not even a move, it's named after a player.
It's actually named after a player, which is really cool, you know? As a player, you really want something named after yourself, right? Like the Minky Whale.
What is the Minky Whale? We saw a little bit of it maybe in the last game with the Jax shenanigans.
I don't know, but one day I hope I have a special move too, you know?
I'm sure I can think of something for you. Yeah, so is the next pick in there as well for Storm. The Young is going to take that one into battle, which Azula just played against him. So it'll be interesting to see the counter pick here from Azula, or what they decide to go for. But yeah, so such a great champion, especially with Lee Sin as well. They've got plenty of other opportunities to maybe combo Yasuo as well, so plenty of room in the draft still. And Yasuo doesn't have too many counters that people play. I think Ryze, you mentioned the last series, actually quite good.
Yes. Syndrome is also quite decent against Yasuo. The Q actually goes through his wall, so if you Q over his wall and then stun, both will still hit, and it's all about just getting around the wall and finishing him off.
Yep. But, I think a lot of people, when they looked at this matchup initially, thought that Yasuo actually countered Syndra. We actually saw that pick quite a lot, where you would play... Yasuo quite a lot into Syndra, but I actually think Syndra is quite good. But it is actually Ari here instead, so we can talk about that. So that's interesting.
He was hovering Syndra, then took Ari.
Also known
Yasuo
as
is actually a counter to Ari. Early game, he can double dash and Q onto Ari, and she'd be in quite trouble in close range because, you know, her Orb of Deception needs both hits to do full damage, and it's very hard to get that off on Yasuo. So a very interesting pick there by Azula. Maybe he's got something that we don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, if you can bait out Windwall and you have Spirit Rush up, you can actually do some really awesome things against Yasuo. But I agree, I think Syndra is a great pick against Yasuo, and Azula is known as a Syndra player, so a little curious to see what's going on here. I do like the Rengar, though. I feel like Rengar's not getting enough love.
Yeah.
Well, he's disabled in a lot of tournaments, unfortunately, because he's full of bugs.
Yeah.
And has been nerfed, as you mentioned, as well. But I think Rengar's a really interesting champion to take into the jungle, with those top 2 junglers being nerfed for quite a while now.
Still viable, just nerfed. Especially with their team comp, they got Rengar with the Ari to pick off, like, you know, champions in the mid game, and to really get a lot of tower damage done. So, you know, fair enough. I think Rengar's a really good pick into their comp. And as you can see, Storm, they went for quite a similar, like, hard engaged team fight comp. They changed Jax with Gragas, which is good. Gragas is quite good against Maokai. And
Also your best champion.
yeah, that's what they call the Mickey Whale.
If you haven't seen that video, by the way, it's pretty easy to find. I'm sure someone in chat's linking it right now, but comes highly recommended. But yeah, Gragas up here against Maokai, and Leona going to round out the lineup again, and Twitch actually, the last pick here for ACA, which I quite like. Twitch is sweet.
A lot of green champions on ACA and a lot of orange champions on Team Storm, so,
That's,
you know.
the true battle.
I don't know if that means anything, but, like, I've just seen it.
Well, there you go. Top tier analysis there from MQL, ladies and gentlemen. But Twitch is definitely interesting against a champion like Yasuo, though. Windwall does quite a number on spray and pray. Rat-a-tat-tat, excuse me. Which is unfortunate for Twitch, because he really does rely on their ultimate in team fights to push him over the edge. He's not bad as a champion. He's kind of like a normal 550 range 80 carry when it's down. When it's up, though, he's an absolute monster. He's probably, in my opinion, the scariest 80 carry in the game when the ultimate's active. It's just dumb what he does to people.
Another thing besides just his ultimate in team fights is his potential to pick out stragglers, especially the Kog'Maw. He's immobile, he can't run away, so if Twitch does get ahead and gets, like, you know, nice invis ganks through lane, you know, Kog'Maw's going to be in a lot of trouble if he doesn't stay under his tower. Yeah,
I'm pretty worried for the Eddie carry here, especially with a mobile Kog'Maw like you mentioned. Rengar's scary enough, Twitch is scary enough, Twitch Rengar's really scary, especially with an Ari in there as well. So kind of a different strategy for ACA, going for a little bit more of that mid-game, almost pick-off strategy, where you're trying to use these invis champions, use the power of the Ari pick-off as well, and really pick some people off. Got decent team fight as well, with Nami Maokai to support a pretty strong core of carries here, but be interesting to see what happens here. I think, again, though, Twitch kind of has the same problem where if he gets caught by any of the many knockups on Team Storm, or just eats the Yasuo Q, because, again, he's also mobile, he's going to die very, very quickly to Gragas Yasuo.
It's a really solid comp by ACA. I feel like they stole it off, you know, Korean OGN or something. It's got a lot of potential. To, like, pick off and to make lots of kills and, you know, really snowball the game. So, you know, the only thing they have to watch out for is what you said before, the team fight. The Gragas ulti into Yasuo with Leona and Lee. You know, Yasuo has a lot of potential to ulti off, you know, the jungle and the top lane. So, you know, they got to watch out for that, I guess. But, you know, we'll see how this game turns out.
So I have a question for you, MQL.
Yes.
It's about Gragas and Yasuo interactions.
Yes.
So explosive cast will knock people back, and you can Yasuo ult off that.
Yes.
Yasuo can also ult multiple people with his last breath.
Yes.
When in the Gragas explosion do you get a chance to ult people's Yasuo?
Instantly.
Is it instantly?
Yes.
So if you knock, but say, is it only at the start of it, or is it like, do they get knocked back for far enough? Because what I was thinking, right, what happens if Gragas ults in the middle of a whole team? They all spray off everywhere.
Yep.
Can Yasuo ult them and then he's floating people
No,
in a
Yasuo
circle?
can't. Yasuo's ulti is only in a certain AoE.
Okay.
So if he ultis too late, then and everyone spreads, he'll only hit 1 or 2 people rather than the whole team. So it's all about timing there. You really have to communicate with your teammate when you're going to Gragas ulti to combo it with the Yasuo ulti. Because if Yasuo ulti's too late, you know, the enemy could have flown away. They could be all the way at their tower. So, you know, you really got to communicate that. And if they fly too far apart, then the Yasuo ulti won't work at all.
Yeah, or it'll just hit 1 or 2 people instead of the 5 people you're trying to get.
And that is really not ideal.
No.
Yeah.
You when you one more combo, you want to really stick it to them.
Yeah.
It's a really cool compare. I mean, Gragas is a champion we haven't seen a whole lot of in the top lane actually. Was very popular for quite a while. Was kind of the Maokai of top for a short period there. Just really very dominant, really really powerful. Got nerfed a little bit, but you like him here against Maokai. Why is that?
The reason why Gragas is quite good against Maokai is because he also has sustain and wave clear. So they sort of do similar things at top lane. They also build the same items. So, you know, it's pretty much a mirror match, except for the fact that Gragas has a lot more like pick potential with Yasuo, so it's like a better synergy, I guess.
Yep.
So, you know, when Gragas wasn't nerfed, when he was, you know, like full strength, completely OP, he was the ideal pick, the go-to pick. Now he's kind of more situational, but he still works quite well against Maokai.
Yep. And I think Storm have clearly built a team comp here that synergizes very nicely, especially with their mid laner. So Youngi's got a lot of pressure here in this Yasuo to make some sweet ult and some sweet plays happen, because if he falls behind this Ahri at all, or this Twitch Rengar gets going, I mean, that's the real worry here, I feel like, for Storm, is that their comp, if any one piece of it falls apart, they're going to have a really big struggle to make it back into the game.
Yeah, and Yo-Yo Youngi has been playing a lot of Yasuo in solo queue, so I'm really excited to see how he plays it compared to Azula, who played it really well last game. So, you know, it's a bit of a Yasuo rivalry here, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're going to pick the champion that just beat you in a game, and the other guy clearly played it quite well, you kind of like put pressure, extra pressure on yourself to perform, right?
You better play it good.
Yeah, otherwise you might as well just ban it. Why don't we pick this champion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did deny the Yasuo pick off Azula again, so, you know, that's fair enough. And he's got a 6 skin as well, so.
Yeah, they're using the same skin here.
Yeah.
The sweet new Project Yasuo. Definitely curious about the Ahri pick, though. I think you're right. I don't quite like the matchup on Ahri's side. But Azula, I mean, clearly a lot of experience with Yasuo and a lot of Syndra experience as well, which almost feels like the better pick here. So we'll have to see what happens here. But if Azula can outplay this Yasuo, I mean, that's what it is to me in a lot of ways. It's a skill matchup, I think, in the mid lane.
Yeah. He chose the Ahri to synergize with his team comp. The strong pick coming from Rengar and Twitch, he wanted that, and it just went in with it. He's also very mobile, so he can pretty much dodge the Gragas and, you know, the Lee Sin ganks quite easily at level 6. So, you know, not the worst pick, but yeah, Yasuo is quite good, and he kind of gets a free lane from Ahri.
Okay, so we'll have to see what happens here. It's game 2 with ACA up a game here. They're on the red side to kick this one off in our semifinals. And, of course, Team Storm on the left-hand or blue side as we move into this game now. Blind Turkey, they're going to move out. We're going to defend these wards as best we can. Storm kind of grouping up all as 5 here. Oh, it's 4, actually. Kog'Maw's hanging out. They're a little cheesy here, hoping someone walks through that brush so they can kill them, but it's going to be okay. Oh, and never mind. We are going to actually have a bit of aggression here at level 1 Minkyu. Something different.
Yeah, the typical solo queue J-brush invade. Here it comes.
So Blind Turkey and Sybil are going to be a little bit careful. Trickstar's joined up there as well. And there we are, going to move in for the level 1. Oh, they do notice very quickly, thankfully, are paying attention. Actually, it will hit there, the Q into the Zenith Blade there. Lee Sin dives on, the exhaust does go down. Blind Turkey, great double ball, but there's the 5-4 for Kog'Maw. The heal actually uses kind of a mini ghost there as well. But Blind Turkey, oh, good juke of the Q, and actually it's going to get away here. No, not quite. Zenith Blade on top, level 1 tower dive, and Trickster tanks 2 turret hits and picks up the first blood of the game.
I bet Blind Turkey didn't see that one coming.
No. No, he didn't. Congratulations, Minkyu. You are now officially a caster here. We're actually going to continue the fight here. Lee Sin's going to kill Twitch, actually, who tried to go invis. And I think Ambush Trickster there, who's actually going to go down there. The flash ball from Rengar is going to pick up that kill, but Lee Sin going to go in onto Zibble. An absolute bloodbath here at level 1 as Kog'Maw picks up a kill there on Rengar with his passive after dying there. So 3 for 1 there, the level 1. Team Storm with a pretty big lead to kick things off here in this game, and potentially going to get this blue buff here as well. We knew the region was bloodthirsty, Minkyu, but this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and Rengar actually blew Flash there just to get a kill and dying in return. As a jungler, he's going to be behind now, like a whole buff, and he wasted his Flash, so, you know, and he gave Kog'Maw another kill as well, so, you know, not the most effective trade there. I think he just got a bit greedy. He really should not have done that.
Yep, and we're going to have Youngi returning to lane now after helping his teammates steal away the blue buff. Azula here already level 2 Inari, so a bit of a lead there. But Youngi actually going to get pretty aggressive here. Nice juke of that Orb of Deception. As you kind of mentioned here, Orb obviously only comes back at max range, so if you're in melee range in her face, it's quite hard for Ahri to get max damage out of that.
Youngi went in aggressive, but didn't expect Ahri to hit level 2 so early. The reason he hit level 2 so early was because he got the early assists from the kills. So, yeah.
Was in lane earlier too.
Yes, that's true. But one creep wave does not get you to level 2.
That's true.
So that's where Youngi kind of miscalculated there, I guess.
Yeah, but Yasuo very, very good at CSing under turret. Arguably better than Aurelio, actually, who is also quite good. And Youngi here, just going to get that flow pop there by Azula. Azula's going to be a little careful as far as mana conservation goes here in this game, but we're okay for now.
So Lee Sin didn't actually get a leash, so he took blue very late, quite slowly, and then he went straight to red. So Rengar was able to invade and take the blue off Lee Sin, but Lee Sin's coming now, and Rengar doesn't have flash, so you better watch out. Gonna be a bit of trouble here if he gets caught.
Oh, Chio actually checking for his blue.
Didn't
Assuming it was up, and yeah, Rengar's gonna get out there. So really, really nice play there from Sybil. Actually, really needed to catch back up. Although, if Lee Sin's really thinking about this, he'll know to re-invade the red here. Because that's either where Rengar's going to be, or it should still be up and he can take it. And we'll see, actually, maybe he's going to opt in. I think he wants to do it, but he's afraid of the mid lane, who's already leaving. The Chippies and Squiggle hanging out in the top lane, just trading back and forth, and Chio does not go for that red buff. So Sybil actually going to equal up the buffs here. Very, very important here after that level 1.
And that was easy to see because we could see the whole map. But
yeah, of course.
As Lee Sin, like he didn't see Rengar at all, so he wouldn't know how many buffs Rengar had. So yeah, I think it would taken a much more experienced jungler to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really unfortunate because if he did invade red, he would have not only killed Rengar with no flash, but he would have got the red as well. And that would have been a huge lead for his team.
Yeah. I mean, you think of that logically for a second, it's the only buff that's left that he could be at, or his home. But yeah, you're right. Thinking of that, while you're playing, there's heaps of other stuff going on. It's a pretty important game here. You are down 0-1 as well. Maybe we don't want to play too recklessly. So, of course, it's easy for us, as you said, that we can see everything. But a bit of an opportunity miss there for Cheer. But we'll continue here for Team Storm, who after a blisteringly fast start here, 1,000 gold already up at almost the 5-minute mark here. 3-1 here. And this Kog'Maw is a very different lane now that Kog'Maw started playing with 2 Doran's Blades.
And Lee Sin's getting ready for a gank. They're waiting for a Leona start.
Oh, just missing there. And Spoiled jukes the Q there as well. So Cheer's going to have to come back another day and look for that gank. Nice awareness there from
It's really unfortunate. They were in perfect position. Leona had flash up as well, and Nami didn't. Leona targeted Nami, but if she flashed and got it, that would have been a free kill. I think in LCS especially, they always just burn flashes for kills, regardless. I think we're a bit more conservative here, and I guess it's just things we do.
Yeah, just original difference. Yeah. We love fighting, but we don't like using our flashes. Yeah. It's too much effort into there. Well, actually, we've got a bit of trouble on the bottom here. Spoiled's taking a little bit of damage, but Twitch will skitter out of there, so he's okay for now. And over here in the mid, Ahri versus Yasuo. A small lead here for Azula early on in CS, which I think you kind of expect in a melee versus range matchup. Yasuo, he's fine against Ahri, but he's probably expecting to get a little bit low on CS here early on.
Yasuo was already a whole creep wave down because he came to lane late, so that is the disadvantage that he was at. However, you can see at the top lane, Gragas is actually doing quite well against Maokai, pushing into tower, which is pretty good.
Just kind of surveying the other lanes as well, sorry. Kog'Maw also up against Twitch. 15 CS or 15 to 20 CS up there as well.
So they have a really good lead now. What they need to do is snowball that lead. If they keep that lead, they're going to fall behind because pretty much, as I said, like if the gold lead doesn't change and the game keeps going, the gold lead doesn't mean as much. So they really need to try to snowball this lead, take a dragon, take a tower, do something. Yeah.
And they've got a lot of good options here as well. Yasuo 6, so I feel like we are going to see some fireworks here. Maybe they're waiting for their bottom lane to hit 6 as well. Kog'Maw gets way more options when he gets access to his ultimate. Of course, Leona Sol for a big high impact ultimate as well. So we are going to probably see a dragon in a couple minutes, but I think you're right. Team Storm, it's kind of unusual because you'd normally want to force the first dragon, say, between 8 to 12 minutes, but they've definitely got a window here to force it a little bit earlier here, given the lead they already have. Spoiled though, just going to hang out under the turret, CS as best he can. And it's a little bit behind, but it's not too bad here. It looks like we could, nope, not going to have a recall there. As Youngie seems to have pushed Ahri back to base. He's gone back, got a Fiendish Codex and 2 Doran's rings as well. So pretty standard stuff here coming out for Ahri, potentially going for an early DFG, which is probably my favorite Ahri build.
Yeah, that definitely does look like a DFG build. Some of the Ahris do go for Morellos, but I think DFG is a better build, yeah.
Blue buff actually stolen away there. Chio's going to get it. I don't know who they wanted to give it to, but I think they're just happy to take it away from Ahri regardless there. Brawler almost getting that ward with Leona. He's got one of the best ward killers in the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Auto attack reset. But it looks like Team Storm playing very conservatively here despite the lead. Just wanted to take things very slow. They are down a game, remember, so with an early lead like that at level 1, they might not want to play too recklessly.
They had potential to take the dragon as well. If they recognized that Ahri backed, which they did see, and that Rengar wasn't there, they could have taken tower. Also, bot was pushing in, so, they did have potential. They chose to take the blue instead, which is fair enough. But,
bad news here. Ahri's actually roamed up the top. The charm is actually going to miss there. And Azula, don't quite know what was going on. Looks for the orb flashes as well, but Chippy's going to follow flash. And Ahri, I think, I don't know. There was
Well
Spirit
done
Rush
for
in and
Chippy,
just didn't want to commit.
No, he Spirit Rushed in and got ulted out by Gragas.
Oh.
So very well played by Chippies there. I think he's been very underrated these games, and you know, well done by him.
Thank you, sees everything, ladies and gentlemen. Good thing he's here. That was next level. I didn't even. Wow.
It's okay. Thank you, Will. You want a hug?
Maybe after the game, he's young. He's going to clear out some jungle potentially. Nope, just going to walk back to lane, using the wolves as a springboard there. Chippy's a great play there. Preserves his teleport as well, so has the option for using it now, or just walking back and saving it potentially for that dragon fight. They were kind of hyping up here a little bit because it feels like Storm have to force something, and I think dragon fight is probably the best thing they can force here. Pretty rare to get kills in lane, even after having a good level 1 start. And they're off to a good start here. I feel like they just want to solidify their objective lead. Or their lead with objectives.
Leona Kog'Maw does have a lot of potential to get a kill on this bot lane here, especially when Leona hits 6, so I'm thinking that's what they're waiting for, because they are playing super passive here.
We'll see. Chio kind of around the map as well on that Lee Sin. Rengar also been quite absent, but he's definitely been busy farming. He's level 6 now himself, so Rengar also could potentially add to a gank. At this point, it's really just a matter of what Storm want to do here. I kind of feel like the onus is on them to start fights. I don't necessarily think they get outscaled, but I feel like they don't want to. The team comps feel quite even to me in terms of their team fighting ability, and I think they don't want to get into the situation where bad things happen. Azul actually taking a lot of damage here, but you're just going to take the poke and walk out.
Definitely. It's not about getting outscaled. It's about using your momentum and capitalizing on your lead. I feel that Storm could have done it a lot better, but still it's not too bad. They're not doing too bad.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of settle back into a little bit more of a quiet game here, it seems like. We've had a lot of this, actually. Really quiet early games in all the games we've had today. First 10 to 15 minutes, you know, even when there's a couple of kills. Yeah. Well, Sybil actually up towards the top lane here on that Rengar. Going in, and Chippy's could be in trouble. It's a good ult, actually, but there's Skoogle going back in again, and Sybil going to get that kill. So once again, off to a good start here. And, you know, Rengar took a little while to get going there. Definitely got his buff taken away, but recovered well here. The dragon is going to go down as a result here as Team Storm finally take an opportunity. But kind of what you were saying, Minky, using that momentum effectively. I feel like Storm are playing quite reactively here, given the lead they have.
Yes. Well, Gragas was low HP and a bit overextended there, so Rengar just came top and got a kill. But it was a nice, a good job by them to capitalize Storm by taking the dragon as a response. So they are playing reactively, but they still did take the dragon in exchange for a kill, and that's a good trade. That's a good trade.
You can see Trickster and Brawler just hanging out here. Spoil without a support right now as Nami went off to ward. Playing a little bit further back here. Youngie on the way to a static chip here as Jasper almost finished up. Should have it at about the 12 or 13 minute mark, which is about where you want it. And Ari as well, also just getting farm up. Actually 89 to 82 there in the middle, so pretty even here. Oh, ambush here coming with the Tycles blessing Trickster. Got to be a little careful, but just a bit of poke there coming in from that Twitch. We actually kind of haven't talked about it, but we talked about how Nami's really good with his immobile AD carries. Just so good at peeling for them and supporting them, but has a lot of synergy with different carries, and Twitch is no exception here. Tycle's blessing is one hell of an ability.
Yeah, definitely. I think... sorry.
That's fine. I think Trickster's farming comfortably here. 96 to 80 as Mickey Rock collects his thoughts.
Sorry, I completely blanked there.
That's fine. Brawler here moving in as well on Leona. It looks like Cheers off to the side here, looking for a gank. So Soulfire should be up here as well. Flashes are available here. They're gonna have to play this pretty smart if Storm want to force a gank down towards this bottom lane here.
Yeah, so the ACA bot lane are playing really safe. They haven't overextended once. As soon as the lane pushes, they back off.
In the mid, actually, ultimate actually used out on. He's actually trying to outplay this Arya Azula. Gonna get dove on there by Youngie as Yasuo's gonna go in. The flash Q dodged actually, but it's not enough. There are enough auto attacks there, and a great kick out there for a second kill there for Youngie. Chio with a great presence there in the mid and a beautiful counter gank. And Youngie knew his jungler was coming, able to get 2 clean kills there.
Very nice wall by Youngie. He blocked most of the damage by Ari. He's still half HP after, you know, 2-man gank with the Rengar. Yeah, just really well played by him, knowing his champion and you know, knowing he could have outplayed them. He could have ran. He had flash up. He chose to outplay them instead. Yeah,
I think knowing that Chio was there as well, just having the presence of mind to be like, yeah, we're going in, or they're coming, help me. And that jungler, the Storm jungler here showing great presence there in that mid lane, able to convert that second kill there as well. Down the bottom, we could maybe have a dive. We've got some rotations happening here for Storm. They're looking to get quite aggressive here with their dual lane, which makes a lot of sense here. Kog'Maw Leon has been doing quite a good job here in this bottom lane. Looks like the pings are coming out. They do want to dive, but they're going to be spotted here by the ward. Youngie will sweep it out there. Actually, sorry, Chio will sweep it out there with Blue Sin. But I think a bit of a waste of time here. They're not going to get this tower. There's no dragon for them to potentially group up for. Looks like everyone's just going to go back and farm safely. Bit optimistic there, I think, in the bottom lane. But a good attempt. Oh man, that Gragas skin playing music for us.
And Swiggle and Maokai, again, 2 games in a row. He's behind in CS, even though he's been getting kills from his jungler. He's been getting a lot of help from his jungler, and he's always behind, which is quite worrying. Chippy's is doing very well in the top lane, so props to him.
Yeah, it looks like pretty similar builds coming out as well. Looks like Rod of Ages are plenty for both Maokai and Gragas. And I guess, well, Gragas, as we've said, kind of phased out a little bit of play, but I feel like the most popular Gragas build is just kind of straight AP at this point.
Yeah, it's Rod of Ages into straight AP. That's the one. The alternative is to go tanky, so Spirit Visage and Randuin's. It wouldn't be too bad for their team comp because Lee Sin, Kog'Maw and Yasuo are all building damage, so going a tank Gragas isn't, like a bad option here. But yeah, they do lack a bit of AP damage, so Gragas going AP is also viable here.
So he's continuing to pepper down the bottom lane. Again, a really nice lead here, 126 to about 100 CS. For Twitch here, so it's clearly converted those 2 early Doran's Blades into a nice little lead. I have to say though, Trix has invested a lot of money into like early game stats to help him win the lane. He's got 2 Doran's Blades, he's already got Berserker's Greaves, but he's actually delayed his Trinity Force by a little bit. He would normally have it finished around this time as Kog'Maw, maybe with just the level 1 boots, but has, I guess picked to dominate the lane, and has certainly done so. 2-1-1 here with 132 CS. Is a nice little lead here, but I don't know if it's enough to justify all the early game purchases. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say. Like, it could have gone either way, so you can't really comment on that. He did have a 2-kill lead. I feel like he didn't capitalize a lot, and going all that early damage, like all the early game items, he should have at least taken the tower by now or a kill.
Spoil could be in trouble here as well. Actually does go invisible, but they do have a ward. It seems like Soulfire's going to come on top of him. Lee Sin's in there as well, and Brawler of all people is going to pick up that kill on Leona. Youngie was down there as well. The Dragon's back up in a minute, so finally Storm, they find the one pick they need with all their CC. The lead that they had from level 1, able to get a tower here as well, and likely converting into the Dragon.
This is a really good gank by mid and jungle there, by Youngie and Chio. They walked down straight from mid, and yeah, just got the kill. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and now they're going to continue to get deep vision here in the blue side of the jungle. Chips and Ball going to push up a little bit more here. Chippers and Squiggle hanging out. Again, just battling back and forth. Gragas actually has a blue buff, which is pretty awesome, because Yasuo doesn't need it. And on the blue side, Gragas can afford to walk down and get it. So, nice little adaptation there.
And that is helping him a lot in the top lane as well.
Uh-oh, Sybil popped the ultimate there on Rengar. Tio knows what's up there. Oh, they're trying to find him. Sybil, very, very cute, very sneaky Rengar play there.
They're following the exclamation marks.
But unfortunately cannot find the Rengar. I think Rengar really wanted to go in there, but a nice escape actually. Kind of mind gaming him a little there with that the exclamation mark indicator. Oh no, Chio now getting dove on as well. Sybil. I think the bowler actually will block one of the little lizards. And looks like everyone will get out safely here. But red, I believe, was stolen by Lee Sin. So a nice little win there for Chio. This Dragon, it's up. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen Team Storm really hammer down this Dragon, although I'll be looking for some kills there. Trickster actually had started it off. Now Chio's going to finish it. Although they have to be a little careful. There's an invisible Twitch hanging around. This is very tenuous potentially here, although Storm now have grouped up together. Dragon does go down, and there with Xenoplane actually is going to land here as well. On top of Spoiled, leaving that Chili and the Q in there for Lee Sin, and just so much damage piling on Twitch. No chance to go invis either, and would have been revealed regardless. And once again, another great pick on this poor Twitch.
Very well played by Team Storm. They're really starting to use the momentum they had early game right now. All their champions are ramping up quite well. Yasuo got his static shiv, and Kog'Maw's probably going to finish 24 spot when he gets home.
Well, Chippy's actually going deep on there. Azula, the Windwall will come in there. Actually blocks the tidal wave there. They're fighting Sybil out towards the backline. Azula, sorry, Youngie way too low. Forced to get out there as Yasuo. Now Azula's coming in there. Oh, the ultimate, he's coming in. The exhaust does go down on Azula. Will there as Chippy gets a great double knock up there on a Squiggle and Blind Turkey. Now Brawler, don't see taking damage here as Chippy is being chased down by 4 members of ACA. And Gragas is pretty tanky. He's going to try and get the kill. Now Ari, he does get it, but will go down instead as Squiggle's going to pick up that kill. And a very interesting back and forth there. But Looks like ACA did come out ahead there, 2 for 1 there on that trade.
That was a bad fight by Team Storm. They haven't purchased items yet. They haven't backed, so they were like, they were a bit behind there. They chose to fight, and Yasuo straight up got 1v1 by Ari, so that was kind of poor by them. I guess the kill on Ari by Gragas was the consolation prize. They're not too behind. Like, they lost a little bit, but not the end of the world for them. It's only like a kill difference.
Yeah. But 5,000 gold and counting here. So Team Storm, it's a nice little lead, but kind of feels like the last game where they had a good lead and just couldn't quite find a way to get back in, and ACA were able to crawl back in and really just push the game through.
Also, ACA haven't really used the Twitch to their advantage. I guess they couldn't because they already pushed in. But now that Twitch does have Blade of the Ruined King, it could go look
this could be trouble here for Blind Turkey. Chigo and Brawler going to find him. Spoiler shot to the side, gets exhausted. It's a good ultimate. He's lining up the rat-a-tat-tat. Chigo's in a lot of trouble. Squiggle is going to come. He's on a killing spree now as he picks up Lee Sin. And now Blind Turkey going to look for Brawler. Sybil there with a great boulder to slow him down. And Azula's going to clean that kill up as well. And again, Team Storm a little too aggressive in the enemy jungle there. Getting picked off there by ACA.
Very nice pick. Double bubble by Nami, which started that all up. He peeled very well for the Twitch with his rat-a-tat-tat. Nami put the slow on Twitch, and that the enemy couldn't get to him. They also split targets, so Leona went for Nami and Lee Sin went for Twitch.
Yep.
So if they went for the same guy, maybe they could have got a kill. But either way, it was a bad fight for them.
Yeah, and that's, as you mentioned, Blade of the Ruined King, a really nice spike there for Spoil as well. And Twitch is going to be looking to capitalize. Just Squiggle now. It's not a chip. He's in the top lane. Okay, kind of throwing his weight around here. Gragas kind of doing the same. Not quite enough, though. The damage still coming in here. Another twisted advance is going to come through, and Chippy, he's trying to get away. He eases his way. He's maybe going to get out of this one, but Squiggle likely going to be able to chase him out here and does get the kill now. As bottom lane carnage ensued. Also, Azula to pick the killer up onto Youngie, but now Stormer chasing in. Which does. Oh, Rengar. Yeah, I would run too. Rengar's ult is terrifying. As Sybil here is going to maybe dive in. Think they feel okay. He's going to dive in onto Trickster. The Xenoblade is going to peel for him. A great kick there from Lee Sin. And now Rengar's caught completely out of position. And Sybil likely to get in here. A good ward goes down there. And Trickster picks up the kill now on a killing spree with his Kog'Maw at 4-1 and 2.
Rengar actually got baited there. They had wards up, so they were just waiting for him to go in, and then they stunned him. There was a pink ward right in the brush. Yeah, and top lane again.
Oh, Chigo, beautiful solo play there on Azula. The bubble in there as well. Not quite enough, unfortunately, for the peel, and Trickster picks up yet another kill under this Kog'Maw. So Team Storm, I mean, it kind of just happened again in the last game. ACA capitalizing on a lot of aggression there from Team Storm, and then Team Storm doing exactly the same thing to ACA.
They're just capitalizing on each other's mistakes, really. Like, they're overextending, and then they're making catches like that. Top lane before was just a complete outplay. I think Gragas has been donated all the blue buffs, then Maokai took a red one. It's like, see you later, mate. It's not happening. Out of my top lane.
Youngie here in the mid, just going to clear some minions out. Infinity Edge almost complete here, actually. That's a big, big power spike there for Yasuo. And quite good time here as well. Buildwater Cutlass on the way with that dagger, so Blade of the Ruined King almost set for Kog'Maw. He's had his Trinity Force for quite a while. And Twitch actually on his way through his Ghost Blade, which is quite the power spike there for Twitch. You definitely really get to feel the power of Twitch once you have those two items.
Yeah, the problem with that is after Twitch ultimates and uses his Ghost Blade, he's quite useless.
Yeah, you definitely have to look for fights and try and snowball and get more items. And usually get your Infinity Edge or a big item like that. So, yeah, it's a good place for Twitch to be, but you're right, he really needs to get his team to use their team up effectively. They've never fought with their Maokai from memory, maybe a couple of Dragon fights as well. Dragon's back up in a minute, so Twitch probably not going to have his Ghost Blade by then, unfortunately. His top turret actually will get taken out there. 3-2 in turrets there as Team Storm are able to get ahead just by one there. Spoil back down the bottom, pushing in here. We've got Squiggle rotated down as well. Ari's still in mid lane, but Azula can walk over as he pleases. Rengar not here either, so have to be a little bit careful for the rest of the Storm. Looks like they actually caught backing here. I'm going to be able to pressure this tower here, RACA. Although Storm are fighting back. Lee Sin actually does fancy his chances here against Squiggle though. Just being cute. Don't insect the tree.
Don't insect the tree.
It's not going to work out. And Dragon is back up here as well. So it looks like we are going to have a fight now, Minky.
And the gold lead is 5k into Team Storm's favor, so they do have quite a lot more gold on their side. So if they were to fight, I do believe Storm has the advantage here. It's all about positioning now. If Youngie can get a good wall onto Spoil's Twitch ult, yeah, then I really see Storm coming out on top in this fight.
As you can see, everyone just kind of clearing out vision here. Dragon is live now, so it's ready. Alright, gotta be careful. Actually used ultimate there. So if they want to re-engage with Spirit Rush, they're gonna have to go in pretty swiftly. Looks like Azul's just gonna have to burn it here. Rengar actually aggressing onto the Dragon here. Giro getting thumbed up there, has to be careful. Brawler moving in, Soulfire will hit onto Azul. That's good moves there. Chippy now moving in as well. He has to try to find the ultimate, but can't go get it, and Squiggles dive completely into the back there. Now Brawler trying to get in there as well. Rengar all the way down the back trying to peel, and they're just really feeling for this twitch. But there's Young, he finds the ult onto Azul. He gets exhausted and picks up the kill. He's going to go down, looks like a beautiful Lee Sin kick there. Going to move everybody else out of the way. And there's kills everywhere for Team Storm now. The ACA really getting themselves wiped in this team fight. 5 for 1 it's going to be as Lee Sin picks up the last kill. And what a fight there.
Chiyu on that Lee Sin went straight to the back line and kicked that dude right into his team. Well done.
Through at least 2 other people, I believe, as well. Fantastic play on Lee Sin.
It was good.
And Dragon goes to them as well. So Team Storm, we keep saying they need to find a way to press their advantage. And it's interesting, they've chosen to play quite slowly here in this game, but they're getting stronger and stronger as these fights keep going on.
Definitely. ACA played that fight like the best they could. They needed to peel back, they needed to let Twitch do a lot of damage, and they did. It's just that Lee Sin, they let him get around and then kick the whole team back in. If they kept pulling, I think they could have won that team fight. Also, really good ulti with Yasuo onto Ari, finished her off, even though he got exhausted, so yeah, well done.
Yeah, definitely kind of acting more like an assassin in that fight, which is fine. They have plenty of backup damage with Kog'Maw as well. Even Gragas actually with a Lich Bane was his second item. I didn't notice that. He's going to be doing quite a lot of damage. And Chio, oh no, that's not where you want to be. Gets Aqua prisoned up as well. Spoil coming in as well. Good kick actually. Maybe going to keep his up. No, the flash not quite making it over the wall. And Azula swoops in with the ultimate to pick him off. Very unfortunate there for Chio. After such a great Lee Sin play to just miss that flash over that wall.
The bubble was coming in, he had to flash. He tried to go over the wall and missed it, unfortunately.
Yeah, just a little too, I guess they did that a little too hastily. Sybil actually going to flash lead there on the Brawler, who's now in trouble as well. And all of a sudden, ACA just picking up kills. This keeps happening, Mickey Well. One team gets ahead and then straight again, another team is capitalizing on more mistakes, I suppose.
The reason is because Team Storm did not back together. They backed separately, and so they weren't in position to ward together. Lee Sin back first, Kog'Maw back last. So, you know, a really important thing, especially when you're playing in a team, is to time your backs and to take objectives like together. So, yeah.
Yeah, now he's still going to be able to pressure. Couldn't quite get enough damage done to take out the tier 2 turret in mid, but they'll do a good chunk of damage there. Was almost surprised they didn't go for Baron, but that was probably a little too much.
Yeah,
with only 1 kill, even though it's the jungler.
They got 2 kills, they couldn't capitalize, but 2 kills is still 2 kills, so, you know. Going for a Baron there would have been really risky because, you know, Team Storm would have came from behind and, you know, Lee Sin was back up already, he was just walking from base, so I don't think they had the damage for it.
And Storm actually going to take this Baron probably uncontested. I mean, Makai knows what's up, but I don't think Squiggle or any of the team feel like they can contest it. Rengar's all the way across the other side of the map, and that is going to be a very clean Baron there for Storm.
Yeah, a bit of an oversight by them, not recognizing Storm's potential to take Baron. So it's unfortunate, but you know, if they turtle, they can still come back in this kill.
I think the thing is that ACA might realize that they're actually how far behind they are, because it might not seem that bad, you know, they had a couple of good fights, but Stormers, before that Baron, they'd slowly crept themselves up to about a 7-8k gold lead, and now it's approaching 10, sitting at about 9k right now. So I feel like ACA just know that they're quite far behind, and they don't want to do anything too risky. I mean, giving away Baron obviously sucks, because it's so hard to push a team out of your base that has Baron, but they do definitely have to turtle it up here.
Giving Baron is okay, but you need to trade it for an objective. So if they all went bot and got bot tower for it, fair enough. If they all went mid and tried to pressure mid, fair enough. But like, they just gave it for free for like a couple waves and a bit of a bot wave. So I don't think the trade was worth it.
Trickster, definitely a little careful. This Pokemon is quite scary now. Blade of the Moon King has been completed. BF Sword in there as well. Like they're going towards Infinity Edge. That's a really, really scary Kog'Maw. The AE especially is just going to be so much damage.
Unlike last game, he's choosing to build 3 offensive items. Last game he built 2 and then built a defensive item. So, you know, Kog'Maw is really going to do a lot of damage this game.
Nice E there. Get him step out of the way. Nice slow actually going to come in. Lee Sin maybe going to think about a blind, so he gets nailed by the Leona ultimate actually. And Yasuo completely on top of all that. Squiggle's almost going to go down there to Kog'Maw. Rengar has used his ultimate to get away here, and looks like Squiggle is going to get poked out. He does dodge the Q. Good slow in there as well, but living artillery should be enough. The Gragas slow is going to ensure he dies, and Youngie cleans up that kill there. 2 clean kills for them.
And they executed that one-more combo perfectly. It wasn't the right targets. You know, it was Nami and Maokai, but it was really good, and they killed him and took no damage. So, well done.
I mean, Yasuo, especially after he ultimates, is fine to take out tanks. And they're so far ahead that Storm just needed to catch people, and that's what they did. Caught 2 people perfectly and able to pressure now. Mid inhibitor turret's going to fall. Mid inhibitor's likely to fall after this as well. I mean, they've got their carries if they can maybe try and go in. Nami's back in here as well, but mid inhibitor's done there. And I think Storm's going to sidle out of the base comfortable.
Team Storm learning from their mistakes here. They're not going over aggressive after objectives. They're backing off and taking other them safely. So it's really good by them. Really good restraint. You know, not falling to the bloodlust like most of the OCC.
There's a TP actually coming here. Yeah. Oh, no, Squiggle actually does want to defend here. Oh, that's quite aggressive here. Onto Brawler actually uses the Twisted Advance. Bubble will miss there. Pokemon low on mana, but can still activate Power Cambridge. Brawler going real deep there onto Squiggle and takes a little bit too much damage. So maybe not enough restraint applied there. But defense of the tower does happen there. Makai using his teleport to make sure the tier 2 turret stays.
Looks like they're going to back off and use their gold. They should have quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit in the bank.
1 to 2k each, so...
Definitely want to go and spend that. And as you said, you know, look for the top. There was minions pushing. Was likely going to be a fairly free tower. Good defense there by ACA to hold on to it, but doesn't cost Storm very much to pop up there and try and take out another tower. Yes. But absolutely have gone to back now, and we should be looking at a point in the game now with the gold looking very, very big here. 10,000 gold and change here for Team Storm here. Plenty of new items are being bought out here once everyone goes back to buy. Likely going to be the last looking push of the game here. Unless ACA can have quite the hold.
Yes, and Dragon's up in 20 seconds, so they might go for that as well, and then push bot lane straight after. Yeah, that's cool.
And I think Twitch really feeling the gold deficit here as well. Having only 2 offensive items now as we approach 30 minutes of the game is just... I mean, Twitch, again, is fine with these 2 items, but you really need to get your third big... your next item, and usually your first big item is Twitch.
When you fall behind like that on Twitch, it's really hard to utilize all aspects of Twitch's kit. Particularly his Invis ganks, which is like a big thing. But most people use it like Oceanic and LCS.
Yep.
Like that's what Twitch is commonly known for. So right now, all he has is pretty much his rat-a-tat-tat and team fights, and that's what he's banking for. Yeah. He can't make picks one-on-one because he's too small, and that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's also not quite enough damage, especially with this front line. Getting quite tanky here, Leona and Lee Sin actually. Was built quite tanky after that Spirit of the Elder Wizard. Here we are, just going to have a push out by Storm. Baron buff has worn off, but I don't think it really matters at this point. You'll be able to see it very effectively with this Pokemon. They've even got Gragas with Disengage on. They've got plenty of initiation as well. So Gragas and Lee Sin. So AC are going to try and hold on here, but does not look good for this game. It looks like we might be happening game 3 again. But I've seen YSSC play before. We'll see if ACA can do similar sorts of things.
Haven't we all seen YSSC?
Oh, yes. But Storm here, such a strong position. This is a classic endgame scenario where you kind of looking to close out the game. ACA going to fight it. Squiggle goes in. Good win roll there by Youngie, actually. As he moves through, there's a knock come through the tidal wave. Will move in also. Sulfur on top of Youngie. He's going to take a lot of damage by Spoil, actually, who picks him up. But Kog'Maw picked up Rengar there, is diving into the backline. Squiggle now under fire as well, got taken out by Gragas. As a 2-for-1 trade there. Getting good kill there onto Yasuo, but again, Youngie just kind of diving in, doing what damage he can as Yasuo, and happy if he takes out one key target, which he did. A 2-for-1 trade there in favor of Team Storm, and they will re-engage here under this turret. Oh, that Chio goes very deep, back on the Blind Turkey. Chippy all the way in the back, picks up Azula actually, with a ton of damage on that Gragas. Now Trickster going in, oh, does get the damage done, maybe goes down, dangerous game, I think. Maybe helping out the Kog'Maw that also saw a little Targon's proc there.
Well done by Team Storm. Yeah, they all survived pretty well, closing out the game. Well done.
Yeah, just a nice dive there.
Like they had it from pretty much the second minute of the game. They got the invade. Oh, okay, yep. They got the invade. Yep. The 5-man invade. They got 3 kills off that, and you know they just never let go. ACA showed signs of life, but they couldn't recover. So it was unfortunate. But
yeah, just a really nice snowball there. Yeah. Again, kind of a slow mid game by Team Storm. Definitely playing very, very safe, being down a game, but really nice execution towards the end there. And I wonder if Yasuo is going to get banned, because that's almost the contested pick now at this point, I feel like. Yeah, both teams have played it. It's won both times.
Yeah, so they either need to ban it or find an answer to it. And there's quite an easy answer to Yasuo. It's Rise.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, we'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, banning Yasuo would be the easy solution.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, we're going to have Game 3 here between Team Storm and, oh my goodness, my brain just died.
ACA.
ACA. Thank you so much, Finky Rail.
No worries.
Between ACA and Team Storm, my brain will try not to explode. We'll take a quick break so I can recalibrate it, and we'll see you shortly, guys. The Challenger Qualifier for the Oceanic Regional Final. We'll be right back.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Time for 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never before.